tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
Oh,
Hell
that's
yeah.
great.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Let me tell you something, brother. I love that. As soon as I heard that, I busted out laughing.
All right. So that was our new.
Oh, man.
Actually, it's supposed to be a trailer, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use it as an intro because it's really cool. So thank you, Indy, for that. I'm not sure if you're on right now,
That's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you,
that was really
Indy.
good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's why I thought, even though it's supposed to be a trailer, but I was like, I'm gonna play it as an intro. Hell with it. All right, so welcome to episode. I always forget what episode we're on. 12.
Yeah.
12. Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm your host, Angel Rivera, alongside Miss Witchy Perfect, my co-host, and alongside Greg. So welcome everybody to the show. Before we start, please give us a like and please subscribe. Those likes help, especially with the algorithm, because I'm fucked. Shadow banned. Oh, excuse my language.
Yeah, I wasn't the first.
I'm the first, but no, I'm sorry. I mean, thank you, Indy. Yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm gonna use this as an intro. I love this so much. I was like, I know it's supposed to be a trailer, but it's like, I'll use it as an intro too. Yeah. So thank you. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Backlash that just happened earlier today, and we'll go from there because I forgot, Hulk Hogan appeared in the 600 Club.
700 Club.
I tweeted you about this.
Yeah, I know you showed. Yeah,
because we predicted this on our last show.
There were some interesting lies there Hogan told, so we will get to that. But now I'm gonna go over Backlash real quick because I'm not gonna take too long with it because it was a B pay-per-view, and I have a lot of complaints about the fan base or the fans that showed up on that show.
I heard
you were saying how they were being loud.
It was all over the place. People either loved it or hated it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I mean, if the crowd is loud,
I saw people saying it was the
yelling
best crowd
into
of
the microphones, and you can't hear the people talking. I mean, that's kind of hard.
That was the problem.
Were they trolling, or were they just that freaking excited?
I
Probably
don't know.
Just excited.
I'm assuming they were so excited that they just went like.
I mean, I saw some clips from. I didn't watch SmackDown yesterday, but like some of the entrances, like the pops they got, like LA Knight and Jey Uso. I was like, wow. Yeah. These guys came. They brought it. But today I heard all kinds.
Well, remember, it's over in Europe, so I mean, they're more excited.
They're so. I
mean, they do better than when we take football over to England. I mean, it's just like, you could hear like a pin drop almost.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out the rules over there, I think.
Yeah, they don't understand much about American football. Now they want to take
them to Germany. Did you hear football is going to Germany too?
Yeah.
The NFL.
I'm like, oh my, what's that going to be like?
They're trying to expand to Europe, but what they see as football is completely different.
It's almost like it's an immediate slap in the face just going over there and calling it that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an appetite for American football in Europe. I really don't.
I don't think so.
Tony Khan does it a lot because of his affiliation with Fulham. And
I thought he owned Chelsea.
So he owns Fulham. They own Fulham.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the Jaguars go all the time.
The most games in Europe since
they have the most in London.
And I think it's because of that connection with
the Cons.
That's why it's like, you could hear a pin drop because literally they're like, what is this? This is not football.
Yeah, owners pushing for it.
Yeah, the owners want to expand to Europe, but I don't see how that's going to
get over. I don't see the appetite. It's not the NBA. You know what I mean? We're like, they don't call basketball is called basketball around the world. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's not.
We're coming over there and like just being like, no,
we call it soccer.
Yeah, it's awful.
They're like, this ain't football.
From my FIFA days, they get really offended when you call it football over there. They call it hand egg. That's what they call it. They call it hand egg over there in England. Hand egg.
Well, I would say rugby too. Don't they call it rugby?
Rugby's a totally different sport.
Is it totally?
Okay. I still don't know the rules of rugby. But yeah, I heard mixed reviews on the crowd. I heard people loved it. I heard people hated it. But they were loud.
I personally hated it. I mean, Dee will not be able to join us because he's doing some electric wiring in his house, apparently. He says that I'm having some wiring done, so he won't be here, but he's here in chat at least.
What up, D?
He's here in spirit. You're here in spirit, big bro.
He's He's having a electric done. So yeah, NFL Europe was a thing, but it was like more of a developmental league, but it didn't last long. So
I was gonna say it's more like the XFL.
yeah, it was like developmental, for the
You
for
know
the
how
It
main
was
well
like
team
that
no, it
care.
works
was like
out,
basically
didn't
like a
it?
practice squad where you can play games.
Yeah,
Like
and
if you're on
each
the
team each team
Right.
was affiliated with an NFL team, and it was like a minor league basically. They would call
Yeah.
like, "Hey, give us this player and give us that player." But yeah, it didn't last. But yeah, I hated the crowd. I mean, at first it was like, "Oh wow, they're really into the show," and and it makes the show good. Then by halfway through, I was like, they've reacted to every little thing." It was like they wouldn't let anything develop in the show. It's like instead of reacting to the important parts, everything got a chant. Everything got a chant. Every moment was like what was that chant? Blah, 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 over and over.
Was it in France
Yeah.
or in French?
Yeah, a lot of it was in
I was
French.
gonna say.
Seven Nation Army. Yeah.
I doubt seriously it would be in English.
No, some
But I mean, how
they
often do
sung.
they go to France?
Wouldn't you
Really?
rather have the crowd like that than silent though? Like if you had to
Yeah,
choose?
like in football, it's
Yeah,
Like
you
it,
know.
it was probably annoying at times, but like I still feel like that's
yeah,
better than just sitting there like a COVID crowd where you can't even
yeah.
talk. I can't even
That's
make
true,
noise.
but the issue I had, I could barely hear the commentary. I mean, it was that loud.
Sometimes that's a good thing if you're watching like
Well, yeah,
Excalibur or
but
something.
You wish
WWE
it was
comment.
AEW, right?
Shivani and Excalibur.
Yeah, if it was
I wish
AEW, I'd be
AEW
fine with
fans
it.
would drown them out of every now and then.
Yeah, if it was AEW commentary, I'd be fine with it.
Right.
But the issue is WWE commentary is pretty good now with Michael
Yeah,
Cole.
I do.
Michael Cole's
I
so
like
much better.
Corey Graves and Michael
Yeah.
Cole and McAfee and Wade Barrett.
Yeah,
It's a good group of guys.
so
Wait,
they
McAfee
were.
was there?
No,
He
he
does-
wasn't.
Oh,
no,
okay. I was like,
I know,
wait,
but he
they
does
sent him to
Monday night.
France?
He does Monday Night Raw with Michael Cole now.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Corey Graves and Michael Cole did the show, but yeah, Pat McAfee's busy with his show, and he's not going to go to France. So
Yeah.
then he has to fly back and do a show tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Monday. Is like, I don't think he wants to do that. But I digress. Yeah, the fans were just ridiculous in the show.
Well, how do you want to start? Like,
So
I
what was
know
the first match of the card?
Yeah, what was the first match?
Yeah, it's only 5 matches. It's not going to take me long. The first match was the tag match. The Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga with Paul Heyman defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
I tweeted a clip of this.
I was gonna say, I think aren't they the Tonga? He's the heel, right?
Yeah, Tama Tonga.
Okay, they're the heels. Yeah, okay.
Solo were
and
the
so they
heels.
turn Kevin Owens babyface with Orton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they were in that direction. But did you see the clip I tweeted about the freaking what's his name, Loa Tonga? He completely botched the finish.
He botched his spot.
The ref had to pull himself out of the ring because he didn't make it in time. And then there was another clip where you could see him moving around under the ring while the wrestlers were doing spots on the outside.
Yeah, he totally botched.
He needs to be. Might be too big for him.
Yeah, he screwed up his debut. But we'll get to that.
Initially, that's some AEW shit right there. Like that.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I couldn't believe that. I was like, "That is terrible." You could see he was late to pulling the ref out, so the ref had to stop his 3 count and roll out of the ring. It was funny. It was embarrassing.
But I mean, it was a botch. Okay, hashtag botch.
Yeah, it was. He butchered that.
Hashtag huge,
but
freaking botch. I caught myself.
You caught yourself.
Uh-huh.
Let's just remember that Haku is the father of Tonga, so you could say Haku's kid. You know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I figured that out.
Like, Haku was very mad about that. He was probably very.
I didn't even know he was. I didn't even know he had a son. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, Haku. I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a son.
Yeah. Yeah. Tama Tonga is his son, and the other one, the one that is debuted, is his younger brother, I assume, because Tonga's in his early 40s. So
really,
so everybody was thinking Jacob Fatu was going to show up, and he didn't.
I did. They swerved us.
A lot of people were reporting that, so I guess they're saving that one.
Yeah,
because he's if you believe the dirt sheets, he signed. Which,
Fatu, he's the son of.
He's one of the brothers of
one of the
Rikishi.
brothers. Okay.
He's Rikishi's youngest son. So the Usos are the oldest. Solo is like next, and then Jacob Fatu is like the youngest.
Okay.
Not bad for professional wrestlers.
Well,
The Usos kind of suck, but I'll get to the
I was gonna say,
Uso
it
match
reminds
in
me
a
of Brett.
second.
All 5 boys became
Mm.
wrestlers, and all 7 girls married wrestlers.
Yeah.
They could be more in the business than they already were.
So initially this match was supposed to be a regular match, and then the show starts. They come to the ring. They start fighting. Security comes out. All referees come out. Kevin Owens starts stunning the referees. Like, oh, they're getting off to a hot start.
Yeah.
Well, at least he asked Austin if he could have that move, because I'm telling you that
he did.
it would be a little awkward.
I still don't like seeing anybody use that move. Other than
I know, other than Stone Cold, it's like, no, that was Stone Cold's move.
And then like it's not even like a finish. It's like nobody kicked out of the stunner. You know what I mean?
Knock on wood. At least nobody, no one that I know of has taken,
one of Kevin
except
Owens
for you. I think Angel, you said that Roman Reigns tried to use it, but he couldn't do it right. And what did Dusty say? Don't do stuff you can't do.
Yeah.
He tried to do the perfect plex.
Very good advice.
No, do not. No, that would be something for Joe Hennig, not Roman Reigns.
What do you think of Maxine Dupree's perfect plex, Steph? She kind of adopted that move.
What?
Yeah, she's been doing it.
I haven't.
I like Maxine.
Okay, well, as long as she does it right. Because like Dusty would say, don't do stuff you can't do.
It's not bad. It's really not bad for her level.
It's okay. It's passable, but it's
progress
not...
for old Maxine.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll give her a pass. But again, be good to the perfect plex, okay? Be good to it.
At least I mean, yeah.
And then,
as long as Joe Hennig approves, that would be Curtis Axel back in the day.
Yeah. And then Nick Aldis came out and said, you know what, you guys want to fight here? It's just a street fight, no disqualification. And that's how the match started.
Lazy booking.
So I didn't like that.
It was a whole big
this first match needed to be like a regular tag match.
This is basically like
you
a
build
house
towards
show.
that.
This pay-per-view was a house show.
Yeah, but it felt, it just didn't feel right to me throughout the night or afternoon for us. And then the finish, it was like a standard street fight. They went to the crowd, they put each other through tables, like Then the finish was the Loga Tonga, whatever the hell his name is, excuse me. He came out, he botched his spot, and and then Solo hit his finish and pinned Kevin Owens, I believe. So the match was bleh, I didn't like it too much. It's okay.
Not a good debut for old Loga Tonga.
No, I hope that it gets better, because I was like, yeah, that's bad.
2 botches.
Well, guys, remember, this is and I don't know why this is, but we have a history with the WWE not treating the second and third generations. I mean, maybe Randy Orton, you might say, could actually pass.
It's real hit and miss with the second.
Yeah, I mean, it's
random. Like some guys rise to the top and some guys just never make it.
Right.
And they're all good, so it's just I guess it comes down to character work, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Some guys just have more charisma than others, and some guys get better booking than others and better storylines than others, and that's really what makes the guys, So I mean, all those guys could work. But yeah, you see tons of second generation guys that just don't make it, and then you see guys like Randy Orton and The Rock, and they're perfect.
It depends.
Hey.
It depends of
watch it.
I know.
Especially
use that word. Okay,
especially when second generation wrestlers that came up under Vince, it depended whether he liked you or not.
Yeah,
if
that was really what it came down to.
You were screwed.
Look what they did with Joe. For example, okay? Look what they did with Joe. Look what they could have done with Curt. Brett, I mean, seems to be the success story of all that, but I mean, Curt could have been. You know what I mean?
Curt would have been world champion if we stayed in WWE.
That's right.
But he chased the money.
Nobody beats Mr. Perfect.
He chased the money, man. He got paid a lot more than he would have in WWE.
But that's the thing. He wasn't.
Yeah,
he wasn't a mark.
He got almost.
Scott Hall would have been world champion if he stayed in WWE.
Yeah, but these guys weren't marks. They were looking for.
Yeah, they saw it as a business. They're like, all right, I need to, Yeah, they got it, man.
Like today, these guys are like, I want to be world champion. Doesn't matter how much I make. Just give me the belt. I'm like, no, but this is not real.
Hey. Don't make me come over there. Sorry.
Oh,
Kurt.
Bad
It
cookies
was
in the
Kurt,
chat.
and it's with a C.
Your mama's so fat. 7-7.
Yeah, he's
Enjoyed
been
the
with Kit.
crowd. Yeah, he's
That's what I'm
enjoyed.
saying. It was real. It was 50-50, man. Like some people loved it, but like I said, I'd rather have a crowd like that than.
Yeah, I agree, but it just gave me a headache halfway through the show, and I'm like, I
it
had
was
to
just too
lower
early
it.
in the morning for that kind of crowd.
Have you
You know
ever
what I
heard
mean?
those old
May have been later at night.
what is it, like sometimes on like Survivor Series or something, like when Jesse and Gorilla would be commentating and you hear this, you know,
Yeah.
it's because their microphones were picking up the crowd because they
Yeah.
were in the crowd, even though they were like higher up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember those. I remember they would literally be the commentary desk would be near right in the crowd. So it was like,
Right.
yeah, it wasn't that good, but yeah, like it was better than. I'm rambling, but let's move on. For no reason, I don't know what I was saying. The second match was Bailey versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton for the women's title, and Bailey retained in a weird finish. I mean, they
Yeah,
did
it
some
was
sort
an
of
AEW type finish.
yeah, they did some sort of like inside
The back
cradle,
and
but
forth, the back and forth
but
pin.
they screwed it. It looked like they screwed it up, but as Bailey won with that pin Naomi, but bleh, another bleh match, I didn't
No one could
enjoy
really
that
do
too
that
much.
back and forth roll ups like Kurt and Brett. You ever watched the Kurt and
Yeah,
Brett match where they're going
Yeah,
back
they
and
did it
forth
so
with
smooth
the
and perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, there you
I used
go.
it properly.
Yeah,
Used
there you go.
right.
I used it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
this match was just really to kind of put Tiffany over while still keeping the belt on Bailey.
Yeah, Tiffany was the star of the match. She did quite well for her age.
She's the future of that women's division, man. She's got it all.
Well, there you
And she's
go.
gonna be such a great heel.
Yeah,
Like a
she's
Charlotte
like
Flair,
that's about to say. She's like Charlotte Flair, 15 years younger. It's like she
I
looks
saw. I don't know if you guys saw on X that Charlotte Flair was actually starting to, do rehab and starting to work out
she's
again.
coming along. She's coming
Oh
along.
no. Bad cookies. They
I
should
will
have
come
called
over there,
Curt
Bad
Hennig
Cookies.
almost perfect.
Don't even start with me, dude. I will come over there.
So this is
Yeah. And he
I will
spelled
come
it with
over
a
there and
K.
I will
Yeah.
beat you up.
He's trolling Steph, but
Of course, he always does. That's why I love Bad Cookies. He's always trolling me. He always comes in like, "Oh, hi there, Mrs. Witch." I'm like,
yes,
"Hey."
that should be a good idea. I mean, her winning Queen of the Ring next
Speaking
month.
of King and Queen of the Ring, we're
There's
gonna get some
Queen
good
of the Ring
matches
now?
on free TV.
Yeah.
That already looks very exciting.
Yeah,
that's gonna make Raw and SmackDown.
There's a bunch of good matches booked for Raw, like the work rate matches. That
this is gonna be
fans love.
I think it's gonna be Dragunov and Gunther if I had to predict.
Oh, the final? Oh, I would love. I love their matches in NXT.
I think they want to show that match to a mainstream wrestling audience.
Yeah, but why does it feel like Gunther is now off of the screen? Like he now because he lost the Intercontinental Champion, he's like
Well, he declared for the King of the Ring, and this is where his new story begins.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah. So
he's on
that
Raw,
match
right? He stayed on Raw, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch the draft.
The draft is so over. Like everybody, I don't know why.
That's what Jim Cornette said.
It's not
like
it's
it doesn't
not
make
exciting.
any sense.
There's
Please
never
make
anything
it
like
sense.
it doesn't even make sense because they don't draft in the order based on talent.
Sheamus and Gunther.
It's like
that's the first qualifying match on Raw. But yeah,
I'm never getting excited for a WWE draft ever again.
Hello, Mastermind. Welcome.
Oh, I want to do a quick shout out. Jesse Jet's going to be on the BCP. Sorry, I hope I said that right, Mastermind. So check out Jesse Jet later tonight. I forgot what.
I think Steph may have froze up on us. No, I think Steph may have froze up on us.
Sorry, I got kicked off.
You're frozen, Steph, so I'm not sure you can hear us, but yeah, like
Jesse Jet will be on BCP.
Oh, here you go.
Good?
You were frozen, Steph. That's why
I thought it was my pro. I thought I did something wrong.
No, it was Steph that was frozen.
Because I clicked on the little chat button and I was like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah.
No. My thing said, oops, it lost connection. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, it was on her
side.
Yeah,
I think Tiffany is probably going to win Queen of the Ring.
Well, that would be
beyond
Tiffany and Gunther. Tiffany and Gunther, my prediction.
Luckily, it's not Vince because Vince would screw over the King of the Ring usually. The last few he did were they did nothing with them.
Yeah, they didn't mean anything. I think Xavier
Yeah.
Woods and
Yeah,
Vega
Xavier
won the
Wood
last
won. Yeah, it
King of
was
the Ring, and
terrible.
they did nothing with it. Like they did.
Vince did nothing
They
with
just carried
either of
around
them.
a stupid scepter, and like that was the gimmick.
Oh, and he made Selena Vega adopt a bad British accent for no reason.
that was some Vince McMahon stuff right there.
It's terrible.
I'm glad he's gone.
I'm sure Triple H will do better with that.
Vince McMahon, thank you for all the entertainment in the 90s, but this business has passed him by long ago.
Yeah, it's passed him by a long time ago. Not
well,
recently,
they found him at the
ago.
gas station with a girlfriend of his, and he's like, he has a cane now. I'm like,
yeah, he looked pretty old. He finally looked like an 80-year-old man.
What is that?
So
the Harvey Weinstein or something.
The next match was Damian Priest versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match with Jey Uso,
won, I think.
Yeah. This match was way better than his WrestleMania match. I mean, it was like leagues ahead of what he did.
Yeah, because he actually had a singles wrestler to work with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Is his brother not good at it?
They're tag team wrestlers.
You didn't see that match at WrestleMania? That was awful.
If you put them both together,
I saw it doesn't mix. Parts of it.
Their styles don't make a good match because it's the same style.
It was a Young Bucks super kick exhibition, and then Jay just beat him.
Yeah, I remember that part because they were slapping their leg.
I guarantee you, there's an agent or somebody with a little bit of power back there that just wants that shit to stop. Sorry, wants that stuff to stop. Because it's not good.
No,
it's not
terrible.
I don't know why Shawn Michaels isn't screaming at somebody like, make them stop burying my move. It's like just, I hate the super kick now. I hate it. It's so overdone. It was a finishing move in the 90s, and now it's like a transitional spot.
It's just Jey Uso did.
Nobody sells it. Nobody ever sells the super kicks unless they're told, unless it's part of a story. Like you'll see one guy get a super kick and they'll just like bounce right back and do it again, or you'll see one guy get a super kick and lay down for 5 minutes because that's what the story needs him to do. Like you can't do that.
It's inconsistent, makes no sense.
And both companies both companies do that. You know, I'm not going to single out,
but
either they both do way too many super kicks.
Jey Uso did his super kicks in this match, and Damian Priest didn't take a single bump for them. He just like kind of did.
Nobody ever does, man. And they come right back and fire it like it never even faced them. This match was basically to like, I mean, didn't Damian Priest kind of like keep going babyface? Didn't he
Yes, I'm about to talk about that. He won the match. After the match, I think it was JD McDonough and Finn Balor just started beating up Jay. And Damian Priest kind of shoved him away. It's like, stop, don't do that. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. And, you know, that story is going to lead him turning babyface probably. And then I'm assuming Damian Priest and Finn Balor will have a match.
How long before do you think Judgment Day jumps Priest this Monday, or do you think they're going to let it play out a little bit more? That's what it's leading to. They're going to
let it play out more.
Mm-hmm. You guys can see me, right? Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
I think Vince gave Woods King of the Ring because Big E and Kofi each had a WWE Championship. I mean, it's just like a.
Well, I think Xavier Woods was the one originally pushing for them to bring it back. Like, I think he was the one that was like, we got to bring King of the Ring back, and for that, I guess they let him win it.
Yeah,
I think he beat Finn Balor in the finals, didn't he? If my memory serves me correctly.
I don't remember. I try to forget that. Balor. Yeah, that was terrible. That tournament.
I just remember every girls' match was like 90 seconds long.
Because Vince
even the final of the King of the Ring was like 4 minutes for the girls.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how much does that beat Goldberg's record? Because he used to wrestle for like what, 60 seconds?
Yeah, and that was a good thing though.
Well,
yeah, I know.
He wasn't able to work. So
Goldberg still sets a mark for himself. He called AEW cheesy, and then like you could immediately hear him start to go back into characters like Goldberg could never be on a show, and he stopped himself, and he's like, I can't. It's like, dude, stop it, dude. You're not Goldberg. Like, you're just Bill Goldberg. Go make some money. Like, nobody cares about the legacy of your character. Everybody knows it's not real. Everybody knows. Like, it's just like go there and make some money. Maybe put on a good match. I don't know. Like, I don't know why Goldberg.
Go.
I don't know why Goldberg would want to go to AEW. He'd make
Brett still makes comments
easy million.
Like, oh, well, at least you ain't Goldberg. Did you guys see my Kill Bill thing?
Yeah.
Bret Hart? Oh, I hear you're a.
I saw it.
I hear you're a Goldberg fan.
Goldberg is just.
That would be right up Angel's alley right there, because I know you hate Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg. He's just an average NFL player. He played for 7 seasons. He was average. You know, he wasn't anything special.
And nobody really.
He was kind of ahead of his time, though. Like nowadays they're bringing in tons of like ex-athletes. That's pretty much all WWE is bringing in is like
Yeah,
But I mean,
athletes
Goldberg
and-
really, nobody will ever remember his football career. They'll just remember, oh, he was a wrestler.
Yeah, that's what I remember him for. That's his
But I
legacy.
remember when they first brought him in and they mentioned the fact that he played the NFL. That in the 90s, that definitely brought
Yeah,
like
that
an air
was-
of legitimacy to
that
like,
was the head
okay,
of
this
his
guy's
time.
for real. Like, wow.
Yeah, because Kevin Green he's like, guess who I was bunking with
Oh,
in
I remember it.
91? I
Mongo
was
and
like,
Kevin Green.
ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Goldberg. But yeah, he was a mediocre NFL player. He made it as a wrestler, even though he never took the business seriously. I remember his
He took
documentary, the
himself
A&E one.
seriously. He definitely took himself seriously.
He did an
Not
A&E
so much the
biography,
business.
and he's like, I did wrestling for the paycheck. I didn't really like it. It's like, yeah, I know, Bill.
And
yeah,
Bill, if that
we
were the
know.
case,
That's
go
why
make
you
another
only wrestled
paycheck.
for 2 freaking minutes.
Yeah. Like that was a big revelation to him. I
Like, I would love to see Bill Goldberg come on AEW and just beat the Young Bucks up.
Yeah, he would get over with me if he beat up the Young Bucks.
If he just came out there and ragdolled all these losers, like that would be cool. I would pop for that.
He should
like,
go. He'll take Tony Khan's money.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Really? I mean, if you're only in for the paycheck, just take the money. I mean,
Like,
Tony
so
Khan's
is
giving
everybody
out
else in
like
AEW.
candy,
Go
you know?
join the club.
He doesn't take the business seriously. He can go in there and just beat up these little guys. He can go beat up the Young Bucks and Jungle Jack off.
Yeah, take them out because we're sick of seeing them.
And Okada. I'll get to AEW. I mean, I have a lot.
Oh,
to
Yeah,
say,
I know because they
like,
had the
Steph, you're
lowest
gonna be
ratings
mad at
ever.
You're gonna be mad at me when we talk about AEW.
Why?
Because I'm starting to. Kenny's getting over.
I did see that
Kenny's
tweet.
getting
I was like,
over it.
oh,
Yeah,
come on,
he's
Greg.
liking them, Kenny.
I never thought I'd say that.
If Goldberg would have speared, I like this one. If Goldberg were speared, Joe
Like such
Scarborough,
a
I'd be
voice of
happy.
reason in that company right now.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that was an okay match. Damian Priest retained. They're doing that angle where he's gonna turn, and then they'll have that match at SummerSlam.
Every match was very predictable on this show.
Yeah. So let's get to the next match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated the Kabuki Warriors for women's tag titles.
Right, and I saw the picture of them hugging each other, and I was just like, okay, yay.
Well, I mean, maybe they can bring some legitimacy to the women's tag team division. I don't know if there's.
Yeah, I don't mind
there was
them
a
getting
women's tag team division.
I don't mind them getting these belts because they need. At the beginning of the match, Jade looked like she's still a rookie. She was totally lost. I mean, wasn't good. I mean, it was
it's crazy how much she has not improved. But I mean,
not
like, you
really.
don't have to really when you're built like Jade.
No, you don't have to be
you
that
can
good.
go out there and do 5 moves and get over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
So,
getting
like,
over
when people
already.
talk about like she's not like she's the same person. I'm like, yeah, that works. Like she can.
That works for her.
Make money and be over just being that. Just polish it up a little more. You know what I mean?
She's more polished, but.
You know, and that's what they're doing. They're focusing on her strengths and they're letting her.
Paul Heyman.
Stuff she's good at.
Paul Heyman has an old saying: accentuate the positives and hide the negatives.
And
that's
what
WWE.
That's what
WWE.
Every woman.
And you could.
Yeah, WWE is the master of that.
Beginning of time.
When you look like Jade Cargill, that can work. You
don't
have to go out there and do Canadian.
And then
get over.
And then towards the end of the match, she kind of, she was there. She was there for her spot. She did well towards the end of the match, but the beginning was garbage. I mean, there was. So she got they both won the tag titles. This will lead to one of them turning on each other, having a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, that's all this story is going to be. But for now, they won the women's tag team title, and that's okay. And the main event, the fifth match, only 5 matches. So the main event was Cody Rhodes defeating AJ Styles for the world title.
Cody.
So that the match
now
was
on to whoever else, right?
Yeah, the
match
was
AJ Styles, right? He was against AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a great match. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was a great match. They both put on a show. I mean, the fans loved it.
AJ Styles is a little older, so he kind of had that older kind of style, right?
Yeah, he's 45 or something.
Yeah.
He's great,
but he was like in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah. He appeared on WCW in the late WCW. He started doing jobs
the Sandman, and I went, I don't remember the Sandman on WCW.
He was Hack. He was Hack on WCW.
Maybe I stopped watching
because eventually he did take the money. He took Turner's money because Paul wasn't paying. So
right.
Yep.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
Backlash France. It was bleh, it was what it
Bleh.
needed to be. It was
It was lazy booking.
Handsome
the
short
French.
one.
The French loved it. The Frenchmen were just. It gave me a headache. That's why I was like, I don't like
And
it.
like I said, how often do they go to France though? I mean, is it
Never.
like
That's the first time.
yeah, they hard.
It's the first
the last
time.
time I
At
remember
least-
them
at
in
least for
France
a
was
live show.
they were in '89 because Rockin' Robin beat Sherry for the women's champion. They were in France
Wow, great.
because Andre was there too,
Yeah.
and the Macho Man.
This is the first pay-per-view in
It
France.
was
It
88.
wasn't.
Excuse me.
This is
88.
the first pay-per-view. They've had plenty of events in France, but this is the first pay-per-view.
Oh, pay-per-view. Okay, I was gonna
Which
say
is
that was
why-
just prime time.
Yeah, they do a bunch of
Yeah.
house shows over there in Europe.
Yeah,
They do a lot of
yeah.
European tours.
Okay.
They do a lot of European.
That's the last
tours,
time
yeah.
I remember them being in France was in '88 when Rockin' Robin beat
Yeah, they go to
Sherry.
Europe right after WrestleMania usually.
Mhm.
Oh,
Usually,
really?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so we were talking about it, so I thought I would just play it real quick. This is Old Man Vince here, so let's check this out.
Oh yes, this is what I saw. I
Yeah,
was just like, hey, oh my gosh. I'm like, really? Come on, dude.
this is allegedly Oops, no music,
Whoa.
but it was on mute. This is Vince, Old Man Vince, with the cane.
Every time someone's in trouble with the law, they pull this shtick out.
Well, yeah, because
He's
it's
done
like
it twice.
I speak.
it's like I'm disabled. I mean, have pity on me. One
It's
of those
based. I'm
things.
too old to go to prison. That's
I
what it
said Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he did. They all.
When
do
he
it.
was
They're all
like with the
competent
cane,
left and right.
Yeah, so that's Old Man Vince, but but yeah, I mean that I just wanted to show that I had it in my bookmarks anyway. So
I saw that on X. I'm like, oh, come on, Vince. Really? Can't you just disappear for a while like Linda did?
Must be so
she's
boring.
in Florida probably with the pool boy. Who knows? I don't know.
I wonder what Vince is doing right now. Just sitting in his house. Like he's never had this much time off in his entire life. Like
no,
That's why
must be
people are
going-
speculating that
going-
because he has
No.
more time on his hands that he's going to start his own promotion. I went,
he's
he
not
just got kicked out of his own promotion. That was his
years old.
baby. That was his
Alright.
baby for years.
I have to respond to this. If Angel had a finishing move, it would be called the Kyle Kliklinski cucking. It would just be a DDT.
Quite the
Yes.
I used to like Kyle.
Beautiful bad cookies.
I used to too. That's
Beautiful.
why I hate him so much now, because he's just I realize how fucking
Everybody
idiotic he is.
Talking head shill once you reach a certain level of
Yeah.
monetary gain.
I'm
You
telling
just
Yeah,
kinda
it's
you just keep
money.
up the gimmick that made you the money, man.
It's a
like,
money thing.
Finding out Jesse Ventura was wrong about, Ukraine and COVID and all that stuff he was wrong about. And I'm just like, Jesse, why?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
did kind of surprise me. He was always such an untrustworthy person of the government, and all of a sudden he was just like,
now he's, into
to tell
talking
the truth.
points.
Yeah, he's
Oh, Putin
completely
just woke up one
It was
day and decided
definitely
to go
a
over and
character arc
attack
for-
Ukraine. No, Jesse,
forgetting
whatever.
forgetting the last 10 years of what the Ukrainians have done in eastern Ukraine, but that's a whole
Yeah.
Topic.
Yeah.
Because if I get into it, I spend a 10-minute dissertation on why, but we'll get. All right, so Hulk Hogan appeared in the 600 Club, or 700
700 Club. Yeah.
That confused
You're
the
close.
show.
You're close.
And of course
Yes.
there were some whoppers there. There's some interesting lies. So
Whoppers. I love that.
yeah,
Whoppers.
well, I mean that's an.
Wait, are we gonna
so-
hear the Roddy Piper thing?
That's
I think
the one
so.
that blew my mind.
I think so. This is the one he claims were Piper.
That's possible. Like it's like that's
I mean,
not
it's
something
possible, but it's more than likely. Actually, someone debunked it in the comment section on YouTube. They said, "Oh, actually, that was Piper calling into a radio show." I was like, "Oh, it doesn't sound like Piper,
Well,
like usually it would sound like he'd be more upbeat,
well,
But
what's
if
funny
he called
is
into a radio show, that makes sense."
what's funny is Hogan changed his story on this. The first
You're
I think
kidding.
let me see. I think he said a text message. Let me watch.
What does the person of Jesus Christ, Terry,
Who is this interview?
bring to you?
Well, this was Pat Robertson's old show, but Pat Robertson
know,
passed
this guy
away.
is
So
He passed away finally.
yeah, he was like 95 or something.
Hot
He's really
dog.
old.
Yeah, never got to see
This
the
isn't the clip
Good
I was
riddance.
looking for. I don't think this is it.
That God presence in us that still small voice. So what Terry brings to the table is a meat suit. A meat suit filled with the Spirit of Christ, and it's a testing ground.
Yeah, this isn't it, but I think I have it. So
Hogan working the gimmick.
Yeah, that wasn't it, but
Spirit of God,
yeah,
and
Roddy Piper called him from the grave.
Yeah, called him from the grave.
I got a phone call from Roddy Piper 2 days after he died.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Now,
but on the 700 Club, he said something different.
Yeah, but they, like I said, Greg, they debunked that and said that it was actually just Piper calling into a radio show. Art Bell.
Why did Hogan say that he called him from the dead?
Because, I mean, the funny part is there are instances of that happening, and I think Hogan just wanted to be like, oh, yeah, it happened to me too. But that's not a Jesus thing. That's more of a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm walking with Jesus. And they were saying Piper wasn't exactly religious. I mean, he was when he called into that radio station.
Hogan claimed that he was trying to get Piper to, to accept Jesus in his life, and he never did. And so after
he actually did. Piper was a born-again Christian. Apparently, Piper had mentioned it on some kind of radio show or TV show that he was on. Maybe he was guest hosting or something, but definitely he had seen it,
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I immediately tweeted you.
I mean, there are, like I said, I do believe there are instances of where family members have left messages and, to comfort the ones that they just left behind.
Well,
I do believe that as a myself.
For it, like a timed message, or is it really like a ghost picking up a phone and sending a message?
I didn't say it was a ghost. I just said it was
to me, like
it's unknown. It's unknown.
That's possible. My logical
there are
side
instances
of my brain.
that
but
credible people have come and said, my loved one called me or whatever, and it was like, it's always like they're far away or something. I mean, I never had that experience myself, though I would love it if that would happen to me. But it did happen to my mom.
So you know somebody personally who this happened to?
Mm-hmm, yeah, a friend of hers that had passed, and they had a fight the night before, and my mom said she would pick up the phone and go, hello, and no one would be there. And for something just clicked in her mind that it was her friend Al, who they had a fight just before he passed. And actually, if my mom hadn't overslept, she would have found him.
Was it just like a random number that called her? Or was this
it was back it was back before my parents were married, so like the late 70s, early 80s, where they didn't have caller ID or anything.
I'm like thinking about it. And like,
this is phenomenon.
But she have the number up one time and said, you know what, Al, I'm not mad at you. Okay, you can stop calling now, because he would always call around 7 o'clock. She said, and that's when they would have their long conversations and stuff. So I mean, it personally happened to my mom, so I can't say that it
from my small experience with ghosts being I watched Casper. That's considered unfinished business, right?
If you watch,
that's the unfinished business.
Yeah,
the ghosts need to see. Casper.
So you've never really gone ghost hunting.
Casper, Casper the Friendly Ghost is like my.
It's a go-to movie, right? Other than Ghostbusters,
but it does apply here.
I'm afraid of no ghosts.
If you watch like Ghost Hunters and stuff, this is a common.
I watched Ghost Adventures until they made me angry, because I would watch Ghost Adventures religiously, and then when they started calling the pentagram demonic, I went, nope, sorry, I'm out. That's not true. The pentagram is not demonic. We don't believe in demons. We don't believe in the devil.
I always thought that was. We're getting off topic again, but I always thought that was associated with like the devil.
No, Wiccans and pagans. The pentagram is Wiccan pagan thing, and we don't believe in that.
That was a way to smear Wiccan people and pagans. So
yeah, it's so weird how we use like a ton of pagan traditions like Christmas and stuff. And then
me and Steph
all pagan to begin with.
On the show, me and Steph kind of touched on that. Yeah, a lot of Christianity is ripped off from paganism.
And I talk about that on my show, Black Magic Talk, with Matt Collins. every Monday. We record it every Monday night, so check it out Tuesday morning if you want to.
We got
learn more about Wicca.
Podcast.
In fact, this topic we're just going to talk about tarot. I just bought some runes.
I always wanted to get a tarot.
I have my pendulum. I don't know where my pendulum went.
I want to see what the cards say.
Yeah,
because I don't close the door on anything.
Show them. Like we're just going to show them. Like I have. I just recently got.
Can we do a virtual tarot session?
If you want,
and I would.
You want to be guest on my show?
I'll talk to you after this stream. I'll talk.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just got this
show.
I just got this one, and we're just gonna show off our tarot. We're not. But if there's anyone who wants to do readings or wants to learn more about it, Matt Collins and I, who I actually met on X, we do a Black Magic Talk. If you want to look me up, I'm on YouTube and Rumble, so look me up.
Yeah.
If you want to follow me, subscribe.
You know
we
what
do everything wicked. We just literally did an interview with my teacher who taught me everything I know, and she's from Australia. So if you want to check that out, go check that out. Black Magic Talk. It's on YouTube and Rumble, and you can subscribe and follow. But yeah, this week we're doing the topic of tarot and runes, and I don't have a pendulum. He does, but I don't. I don't know where mine went to.
I feel like my ignorance on this subject probably keeps me safe from all this. I feel like the less
only if you want to know more. That's only if you want to know more.
I have a question for you.
Do you know how to make voodoo dolls? No, that's voodoo. Voodoo and hoodoo is a different. It's a separate religion.
I need one for Keith Olbermann. I want to smash with a hammer.
Keith Olbermann used to be great.
Yeah, he used to be.
You could do that in just a regular curse.
I love Keith Olbermann.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Keith Olbermann used to be great. I used to watch his show religiously 15 years ago on MSNBC. Now it's like after Trump, he's totally lost his mind. But getting back to Hogan, he changed his story on that whole and the 700 Club because now he says he says a text message he got from Piper after he died. Like 2 days later, he got a text message from him.
Because he called him out and said, "Oh, that was from the Art Bell show."
Yeah, he claimed he got a text now, and it's not a phone call. So he changed the story again.
I don't believe that.
Again.
Yeah, Terry always changes his story. That's why I don't
think Terry's lost it. I think he's demented.
He's just on to the next gimmick. He's like, who else can I make for money?
Yeah.
Now he's
dollar signs.
Yeah, now he's a born again Christian, and he did the whole.
I thought he was supposed to be Scientologist.
He's Chris Jericho.
Yeah. He did the baptism and everything. He's a born again Christian. Yeah. But Jericho is another. So yeah, that was Hogan's appearance in the 700 Club. It wasn't that important. It was more Hogan just, I guess,
pandering.
he's pandering and trying to wash himself of all the messed up stuff.
Wasn't his wife Scientologist?
I don't know about his wife.
She had a Scientologist friend or something.
I don't know because I know after they got divorced, his ex-wife started dating some 18-year-old, and she was like nearly 60. But I digress. I don't know much about Linda Hogan.
I know Linda Hogan was supposedly besties with Elizabeth. I was like, I thought that was Sherry.
Yeah, allegedly she was like best friends with Elizabeth, and she did her biography, her and Savage, and
it was the Match Made in Heaven.
Yeah,
Dark Side of the Ring. It was the
Dark Side of the Ring. That's what it was. Yeah, not biography.
But I think they should have done a biography just about Elizabeth because they did one about Sherry. Well, it's Dark Side of the Ring, but they at least did Sherry by herself. They didn't do like Sherry and Savage, Sherry and blah blah blah.
Yeah, ready to talk about some AEW?
Yeah, I mean we'll get into it right now because I got nothing else to say on the Hogan thing. I got nothing to say about the Hogan thing. I'm done with Hogan. So yeah, that was his appearance on 700 Club. He pandered. He lied about Piper. He changed his story, so I'm assuming he's lying. And that was it. So now let's get to AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. I watched most of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
It was a pretty bland show overall.
Oh yeah, I remember now. The beginning of the show was Tony Khan and his ridiculous neck brace started talking. Welcome to AEW.
Completely ripped off Nitro and the NWO with the intro and thing.
Yes, I was gonna get to
I was
that.
like, yeah, this is what they're going for, I guess.
Yeah,
Why does everybody have to rip off the NWO? The NWO, let's just say it was an enigma of its time, okay?
Yep,
that is not what AEW is.
No,
and Matt and Nick Jackson are not Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
That's right.
No, they're not.
They don't even look like Kevin Nash or Scott Hall. They're like short.
As soon as they come on your television screen, AEW loses like 200,000. Like, oh no, fuck, screw these guys.
Someone posted a tweet, like showing like the last 33 times they're on TV. I think 28 out of the 33, the ratings went down significantly.
Yeah, and so, Tony is and they're
nobody brings that up. None of
they're all over
our podcasts, like JD and like Solo Monster, like they never bring that fact up that they.
No, because they are
on TV.
They have some sort of relationship with AEW. I mean, they are like established commentators, so they want to get into the media scrums and stuff like that.
He's been kind of going.
Yeah, he's been going after AEW more, but
I think Tony Khan told him no enough times to where he's like, "Screw it, I'm gonna bury this company now," because he's had he has like made a complete 180 as far as
he has.
He blocked
when he was an AEW mark. He blocked me. When he was an AEW mark?
Yeah, he blocked me too because I was talking crap about.
Can I just say something for like an update for like last week? So I forgot the fact that like Tony Khan had walked out. I mean, even Brian Last said he walked out. He walked out. Okay, even though he was being assisted by somebody, he still walked out.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I forgot about this. My man reminded me about this, and I was just like, no, there is people in that arena. Even if there's not a lot, there's still people in that arena you have to perform for. You can't just stop just because the TV went off.
Yeah.
So you have to keep performing.
They should have committed to the gimmick. You know, they
otherwise you're not going to put butts in seats.
Yeah,
Cornette was surprised they didn't have a stretcher. I mean, they were like,
that's exactly what he said, and he actually praised. You'd be surprised, but he actually praised Kenny Omega.
I'm telling you, he's winning people over. It's not just me.
Not me. I hate the dude.
When I tweeted that, I had a lot of people and they're like, "Yeah, I was the same way, and now I'm starting to like the guy. He's a voice of reason." In that,
he didn't say he liked him. He just kind of praised him. Said he's doing good work. That the best work he's ever done in his career is what.
I could see that. I didn't. He's been.
So that actually makes it feel better.
Yeah, it was on the experience. I listened to it this morning.
I even tweeted him like, "I'm sorry, Jim. Kenny's growing on me." Yeah, I'll never forget all this goofy stuff he did.
I was gonna say right now, all that goofy stuff.
I had a involuntary reaction when Jack Perry hit Kenny with that chair. I dropped my phone in shock because he just said basically like I could die if anything, and like the injury he has is real. So I mean, I don't know how healed he is. So I was like, Kenny shouldn't be taking bumps. And then Jungle Jack goes out there and hits him right in the gut with the chair, and I just dropped my phone. I'm like, oh no! So I was like, yeah, they got me, man. Kenny's fucking got me. He's got me caring about this guy now. I got to be honest.
I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it.
Twitch streams where he basically was like, yeah, sometimes fighting's good. I'm a bad EVP. You know, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah.
He's honest. He's honest on his streams, you know, lately.
It's
I just can't get over the 8-year-old or the 9-year-old girl. I can't.
You got it.
He wrestled a 9-year-old girl. Nobody I know would do that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, yeah, he's been more honest lately.
Sucks. Like I guess I'm racist for saying that. That's what I've been called on Twitter. I'm just not a fan of Japanese wrestling.
No, shush.
I don't enjoy Japanese wrestling, and I think that is just a product of that.
I just said that in my newest video. I was like, if you think that was racist, you have a problem. That's what I know. You are the problem. That's what Jim Burnett said.
They throw that word out so liberally. It's like
everybody
you're making it meaningless when you do that.
That's right.
If everybody's a racist, nobody's a racist. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just throw that word out there because I don't like Japanese wrestling.
Like I talked about last week, it was Jim that was a gorilla, not Swerve. Swerve was just standing there.
And Brian Last goes, last time I checked, Jim, you were a white man.
Yeah.
I he goes,
last time I checked.
Travis Hinkle draws pictures, you know, based on Jim's references. So he referenced Mighty Joe Young. So I was like, okay, let's draw him as a gorilla then.
And
that's
people
it.
refuse to listen to the clip.
Yeah, they
don't.
just
Yeah.
wanted to hate
It's like,
it because
I want to
it
be
was.
mad about this. I want to
I
be.
just
want to be mad
because
about this.
I just want to be mad.
Not going to change my mind.
It's
I'm going to be
ridiculous.
mad about this.
Yeah.
I don't care how silly I look. I'm going to be mad about this. And I'm just like,
Did
come
you
on,
listen
guys.
to the clip? Nope. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to give him a view, on his YouTube channel.
Cookies, I think that would make me transphobic if I didn't like The Matrix. Based
Greg
on
doesn't like the movie The
How?
Matrix.
You
He's
don't
a
know
racist.
that the Matrix writers are trans now. The Wachowski brothers, the guys that made The Matrix, are girls now.
Oh,
You didn't
no.
know that?
I didn't know
good
that.
for them.
Yeah.
They
transitioned.
Oh, wow.
I never saw The
5
Matrix,
years
nor
ago.
do I want to go and see it.
Oh,
Miss Witchy Perfect has a poster of Curt Hennig. She's a racist.
That's not how you spell Hennig.
What
I'm a
at least
racist
you
because
got
I
the
have
C,
Curt
right?
Hennig on my wall.
Yeah, the bad
But what
cookies.
you don't see behind me is
That
I
is
actually have
quite the
pictures of me and my
shrine you have
son.
there.
So
That is quite the shrine.
but you're never gonna see that because I don't want my son all over the internet.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and then the Young Bucks came on. They said, "Oh, well, we take over the show now." Oh, they explained that they have in their contracts they have founders. They are like founders exception.
I'm glad
or
they
something,
explained
so,
that, though. Honestly, I'll give them credit for filling in that logic gap. Where,
well, at least they
fire
did,
CM Punk, but you can't fire these
Yeah,
guys.
give
But
them
you got to give credit when it's due. They at least
I mean,
covered that logic gap.
they covered that up. It's like, oh yeah, we have founders clauses. We can't be fired. Oh, but
I
you can be
appreciate
arrested.
the detail to this. Even though I don't like the people telling the story, I still appreciate the detail.
Yeah, they do. This story is, catching my interest a tiny bit.
It is for the wrong reasons, but I am tuned in, so they'll get my rating.
Because I want to laugh at it, but
We're
again,
this
then
close, as Kit
I
says,
immediately
we're this close.
Yeah, I immediately thought you can be arrested though. They should have had you arrested. Handcuff you all. Take
I don't
you
think
away.
they've ever done that.
Oh yeah, that would be a good storyline. I'd actually watch that.
Have they ever had cops on AEW arresting somebody?
No, I don't think so.
No,
That'd
that
be the
was
first
all
time.
Austin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When Austin stunned Vince McMahon for the first time, he got arrested.
Right.
There was a consequence.
Yeah, he got arrested. Yeah, everyone remembers that.
Yeah, and that made sense. It's like, of course he'd get arrested. He just stunned
Tony
boss.
can't fire you, fine, but he can have you arrested and charged with assault or something. And then he'll drop the charges in exchange for a match, whatever. But you figure something out from there. But he could have been arrested. And
that would have been a good thing to do with that angle. I agree, but they're kind of half-assing it a little bit. They're not really going all in with it.
And then then what happened?
They took over and they basically were
Dynamite.
like, "We're gonna pick Swerve's contender," and I thought for sure Jungle Jack was gonna walk out of that tunnel.
Yeah, but even Jim Cornette said they're still not giving Swerve the respect he is due. And that was what the clip was all about. That's why people lost their minds. It was actually Jim saying,
defending Swerve,
defending Swerve. We just want to see him work as a true champion. And these people they're putting him up against are nothing. They are nothing.
Christian's a good opponent.
Well, his first
when Christian walked out, I was very happy because I was convinced that Jungle Jack was going to walk out and be.
What Christian?
All right, fair enough. I will give kudos, but again,
and to be fair, Swerve did mention that it was sorry for my misspoke. It was a bitch move what they did. So I think Swerve hopefully will get integrated into this storyline because the world champ should be involved in the A story on the show.
He needs to be. He needs to be
on the show. Like that's a joke.
Because if he isn't.
Main angle.
If he isn't involved, then he's definitely going to be an afterthought as a world champion. But Christian is a good opponent because he'll do what AJ Styles did.
Yeah, because Christian knows what he's doing. Yeah, he came from WWF or WWE.
Now we have Christian and Dino Douche and the other and Nick Plain and his mother back. It's like,
that's Jim Cornette right there.
Nick Wayne's mom needs to stop wearing 7-inch heels because she's towering over every wrestler in that company.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's a bad look. Well, you got Swerve, you got your world champ face to face with this lady, and she's like a foot taller than him.
She's taller than him with
that
those heels.
Not a good look.
Are we going to talk about those Rampage numbers?
I mean, I'm
like
sure
Rampage
we could.
And what the heck?
Yeah, because Dynamite was 3 hours. It was 3 hours.
Yeah.
First 2 hours with Dynamite, and the third hour.
Literally, they had pictures of Tony Khan skiing down, and it was like, That's gotta be
that was hilarious.
Stupid. Bad Cookies has a question. Do you think Hulk Hogan in his prime will succeed in today's modern wrestling? Modern wrestling world.
To a certain
Well, I don't know.
demographic,
See, Hogan
kids
wasn't
would
much
still
of a
love him.
wrestler. He's an old school wrestler, but he couldn't make it in the territories. The only reason why he was anything is because he, Vern and Greg Gagne made him something.
Yeah.
And then he kind of took it because he caught the eye of Vince McMahon in '84
and ran with it.
Yeah, because I mean, until Vern Gagne got a hold of him, this is according to Greg Gagne. So I do a lot of interview watching, and I caught one about Greg Gagne, and he said, really, Hogan wasn't going anywhere in the territories until Greg and Vern got a hold of him. Then he became Hulk Hogan, and he actually became something of himself.
He was terrible when he was tag teams with Brutus.
Right.
Yes, and it was not good. And then he had a run in. He had a run in the late '70s in WWF, and when Vince Senior was running the territory, and
even
he had
Vince
matches.
Senior was like,
I think Hulk Hogan would have a similar fan base that Cody Rhodes has. I think those type of fans would gravitate towards that gimmick.
I don't know.
I think adults, people like us, would hate him and think he's cringe, but I still think he would get over with a.
Yeah, he would get over with the casual WWE fans.
If Hogan was in his prime, could he do? I mean, because technically, The Rock in wrestling was just cartoonish, so maybe.
Yeah, the Rocky movie did help.
Yeah, Hogan made himself
the Rocky movie did help,
3.
but I don't think it made him. He was already starting to get a lot of, the AWA kind of, was making him.
What they
he
did
was
in
selling
AWA,
out,
Vince Senior fired him after he did Rocky 3.
Right.
And then
he was starting to get recognition, and they were selling out. In fact, when Hogan didn't come back, they had sold out St. Paul and Minneapolis, if I remember correctly, and they had like several shows literally sold out. It was going to be him and Andre, and then he just never came back. So,
because what happened was
he bit the hand that fed him.
Allegedly, according to Hogan, or his story he tells, him and Andre had a tour in Japan. And Andre was like, "You should just sign with Vince. He's gonna take the national, blah, blah, blah." And Vince flew to Japan to sign him.
Yeah.
And because he had chosen Hogan to be his top guy, and Vern wouldn't put the belt on Hogan for whatever reason. I mean, he kept, he kept taking it away from him.
That's the big secret. And Greg says we should have told him. And that's where I think you have to put some of the blame on Vern. Now, I love Vern Gagne, trust me. I would probably be like his second or third daughter by now. But I mean, what I mean by that is like Vern had plans. They had plans for Hogan, but they did not. They had it close to the vest because the dirt sheets. Vern didn't like the dirt sheets, so they kept it close to the chest. They kept it, to themselves, and literally, Greg says, we should have told him.
Yeah, they should have.
Because if they had told him, they doubt seriously that he would have gone with Vince.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have, because he's going to be the world champion, and maybe Vern could have gone national with Hulk instead of Vince. World would be different.
If it wasn't Vince, it would have been someone else.
Yeah, it would have been, because the territories were dying off.
Choice Dusty Rhodes, but Dusty wanted to book.
Yeah, I did hear that Vince, because Vince Jr., Vince McMahon, we know him as, but he was Vince Jr. then. He liked Dusty. Like, he wanted to make him.
Gagne in that way, Brad Cookies. That would be his second or third daughter. I think he has a daughter. He had a daughter. I don't know if I'd probably be his second daughter.
Yeah, Vince
he
Sr.
had a daughter
did
because his daughter married Larry Sabisco.
Vince Sr. didn't like his wrestlers being celebrities, the opposite of his son. Yeah, Vince Sr. is more traditional.
Yeah, and Vince Sr. really didn't want Junior to be a wrestler, even though Junior would have jumped at the chance.
Yeah, he would have.
That's why we got the whole Austin McMahon thing.
Yeah.
Junior could now say, "Okay, I'm going to be a wrestler too, and I'm going to, I'm a successful promoter. Now I can go and be that." Huh?
Yep.
Freudian slip.
Sorry, I can't talk today. Successful, yeah.
So Vince, Vince Jr. was. It was a story. He's like, "Oh, I would like to wrestle, but I can't." It's like, it's in the '90s. It's like, well, you're the owner. Do whatever you want. Your father passed like 15 years ago by
Yeah,
this
I
point.
mean, are you trying?
Like, he
Who are
was
you
still
trying to
kind of
impress
Still
now?
worried.
yeah, he was still worried about his dad, even though his dad passed years ago. So that's why he's like, oh yeah, I'm the owner and do whatever I want. Okay, let's book me to wrestle. Just teach me some things, and
Trust
he
me,
had a
Bad
good.
Cookies, you wouldn't stand a chance in my mind. I got a million things in my mind. All right, sorry, Angel, go ahead.
Senior didn't want Vince to invade the territories. I don't know if that, because I always believed that, but there was either a Dark Side of the Ring or some kind of documentary where Vince Jr. eventually convinced his dad to let him invade the territories. I don't know how true that is, but
Yeah,
I
Saturday.
feel like every booker in the territories wanted to do this. They just didn't do it. Like
Black
I don't
Saturday. Yeah, Black Saturday
it
is
was that
coming up on Dark Side of the
documentary.
Ring. Yeah.
It
It's
was I
coming up
heard it
this
somewhere.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I heard it somewhere that
So
Vince
we're gonna
Senior
find out.
eventually.
If anybody wants to watch the Black Saturday, I mean, go ahead. I'm gonna wait till afterwards, maybe catch it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I had
Vince
to watch
Senior.
the Sandman, and I'm like standing here going,
Yeah, I have to. I watched most of it,
what
and then
what is this? I don't like ECW.
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes left of it. I've been watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been watching. Angel, do you remember the show Playmakers that came on ESPN in like 2003? The football show. It's called.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's like a male soap opera. It's
Yeah,
they predicted like the stories on that show. That it basically predicted everything that was going to happen. Like there was I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of the stuff that they portrayed in that show seemed over exaggerative at the time, but ended up coming true like years later in the NFL. It's a really good show. You can watch it on YouTube.
It's
so
because
good.
the NFL has become the WWE.
It's such a
it's storylines and stuff like that. So
Playmakers is good, man. And the NFL got it canceled.
Yeah,
Omar Gooding. Yeah, Omar Gooding was in it, and I was watching him on Nickelodeon, and all of a sudden he's like smoking crack, and like, oh my god, this show is on ESPN.
Yeah, but
they even, dude, they said the F word, and I'm not talking about FUCK. They said that on that show on ESPN. Like that wasn't that really wasn't like a banned word in 2002, like it is now.
No.
So they would just drop that casually in the show, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like,
seven dirty words you can never say on TV.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, this show is wild, way wild. Because I watched it when I was like, in like 10th, 11th grade, and then I was like, I heard about. I don't know what made me think of it. I think I saw like a YouTube video talking about it. I was like, you know what? I want to rewatch that as an adult, and they're all on YouTube. You can watch every episode on YouTube, like no commercials. It's awesome. And I watched the show, and I'm like, I got my girl. She's in love with it. My girlfriend loves it now because I'm like, it's a soap opera, It's so much drama and like,
it's silly. Yeah, I used to watch it, but I didn't remember much about it. I didn't remember until you said it.
I recommend rewatching it if you got some time on your hands because
it's
wild and a lot
I think Vince Senior originally didn't want to expand, but saw where wrestling was going because of cable TV.
Yeah, I think Vince Jr. was just first.
Yeah, he saw it.
Like I said, if it wasn't Vince Jr., it would have been somebody else.
Yeah, I don't think all these other promoters were like above. Like they would have done it too if they had the balls to do it.
But they didn't have the capital.
Vern was trying. Vern was
like,
definitely
those guys
trying.
In territories were happy just making their money. Vince was like, I'm going to go for it, and if it doesn't work out, I'm screwed. But
I think Vern was trying to because it was Vince that one-upped him and eventually took his slot. Because he gave, Greg said, "Oh, we would give them $5,000 a week to air our stuff." And
the San Francisco story.
Yeah, like why didn't you air my stuff? And they're
Vince
like, Vince gave us 10,000.
So
like, Vince again.
Yeah, and he sent back all the tapes. It was San Francisco.
Sent back all the tapes. Oh,
yeah, it was San Francisco. They were promoting a card there. Yeah, they were promoting a card, and they kept the station director kept saying, "Oh, Vince offered 2,500." Well, okay, we're offered 3,000. Then Vince called back, "We'll offer 3,500." Okay, look, 5,000, right? Then we don't. Vince says, "I don't want to hear about Vince." Oh no, don't worry about it. And then their shows never aired, and it's Vince offered 10,000.
Yeah, and Vince offers us more.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like,
gotcha. I was like, oh, Greg, oh boy. I'm watching that interview going, oh, you poor Greg.
He should have told Hogan, and because they told Hogan, that would have changed.
Vern should have told Hogan.
history.
Yeah.
It's like, because he's finally gonna beat Bockwinkel. It's like, oh wow, because he had like 2 or 3 matches and he beat him once allegedly, but it was thrown out because he threw Bockwinkel over the top rope at one point.
Right. Something similar that they did to Curt later in '87. Curt, I guess, didn't know what he was doing, so he accidentally like lifted Bockwinkel over the rope, and Bockwinkel tumbled onto Billy Robertson, and they called it. He threw out the match, but Curt didn't know where he was. He was just like, oh,
he was trying to take him, and then
he was just trying to. But then that was Christmas of '87, I think. No, the controversial match was '87. It was in May, but he actually won the title. They did an investigation because this is the one where Larry Sabisco was at ringside and supposedly handed Curt the roll of dimes. You can see Curt's hand open. I mean, a little bit, but like that happened in May, and then like on Christmas, or I think this was Christmas '86. It might have been Christmas '86. Where he threw him over the top and didn't even realize where he was,
But
you got a great when it comes to classic wrestling stuff. I gotta hand it to you. It reminds me a little of Cornette the way he just spit out some of these facts of stuff that happened.
It's because I've seen it was what was our Christmas special? It was called something, I don't remember, but I caught it on YouTube. In fact, episode 38 of my Curt Hennig Was the Best Changed My Mind is literally going to be the knee versus knee match, and Curt and Buddy Rose in Portland. They actually had a knee versus knee match. And it's very interesting how it ends, because I want to do the next match that happens because of the ending of that match.
What is a knee? Like, explain that stipulation.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Okay, so yeah, I know. I went and watching it. It's like, oh god. Okay, but if you know, so a knee versus knee match was they both Curt and Buddy Rhodes supposedly both had surgery on their left knees. And so they would take them and stretch them. You know how they had stretching moves?
Yeah.
So they would put these stretching moves on their legs, on their knees, and eventually they would, either have to give up or just take the pain. And it was no disqualification. So they hit with chairs and stuff. They could hit chairs, and you could grab the rope, even if you had a stretch move or a submission move on. If you touch the ropes, it still was no disqualification. There's no way they could break it. They could still stretch you.
Oh, yeah.
So it was basically Curt had surgery on his knee. So did Buddy Rose. And it was knee versus knee. So whoever could take out whose knee. It was always 2 out of 3 falls. Every match in Portland that Curt's in, it's 2 out of 3 falls. I think there's like one singles match where it's him and Billy Cloud. It wasn't a 2 out of 3, but most of them are 2 out of 3 falls.
I know
what they did then, I guess.
That's interesting. But I know in the NWA, the world title matches were 2 out of 3 falls usually.
Yeah, it was a big Portland thing that they would only do with like Curt or like mid-card people.
Yeah, the world title matches in NWA were 2 out of 3 falls usually. But
well, yeah, and then when Curt becomes the champion in Portland, he becomes the heavyweight champion. Yeah, his was 2 out of 3 falls with Sheik.
So yeah, Flair. I mean, they in the '80s, Flair dominated the NWA world title, and but he had I was. Because 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what they did. I mean, but they overdid it in Portland. They did it all the time for it seemed like for every single match, it was 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, I mean,
they kind of
especially with Curt in it. Yeah. Especially with Curt.
You got the quarter-hour breakdown for Dynamite pulled up, Angel?
Yeah. Because it's like I said, I had that little skiing.
Yeah, we got like way like off top. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I just wanted
I don't remember.
It started out okay, and then it was kind of like
a girls match?
Like this, and then it was like yeah, this. So it was okay, and then it's like boom.
Yeah, I gotta make this closer. You can't really even see it.
They started out okay,
Oh,
and Jim
that's
was
right. It
like,
was Adam
okay,
Copeland
I
and
mean, they're
Marty
low,
Yeah.
but, you
That's
know,
right.
it's because the big bangers were like, we're out of here.
They're not getting
So
the
it's-
lead-ins anymore. They're not starting off
No,
at
those
10
people
million
have
anymore.
wised up. They're like, we
Yeah.
need
They
some
have
stuff.
made
Nope,
sure to
we're out.
change that channel quick.
Yeah.
So they started out at 794,000. That was the
Right.
Young Bucks Tony Khan Young Bucks promo, Swerve Strickland live promo, Angle with the Patriarchy, House of Black
And it was,
promo.
Yeah, I don't even
So
think they even made it to the Swerve promo. They probably saw that opening and changed the channel immediately.
exactly.
And I honestly, I wouldn't blame
794,000.
them, man. The
Especially
Young
with
Bucks
the
are
Young Bucks
really,
right there. You started
yeah,
with the Young Bucks.
it was really hard to watch these
So it was
guys.
794,000 and 320,000 in the demo.
Yeah.
So and then after that it was Adam Copeland versus Buddy Matthew ad break 693,000. So they lost quite a bit. That's brutal. It was
A
from
media channel.
794 to
I mean,
693.
and I feel bad that Swerve is probably going to get some of the blame for that when I don't think any of that had to do with him, that drop off. I don't think
I'm sure
any of that drop off had to do with Swerve.
I'm sure those EVPs are gonna blame Swerve. They're not gonna take responsibility for that. Because they were
Every
part of that
segment they're in, man.
the EVPs will give it oh well, that wasn't our fault. Swerve's the champion. That's his fault, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then after
Swerve.
that, it was the continuation of Copeland versus Matthews through picture-in-picture ad post-match with the House of Black ad break.
Oh, that's
693,000
They're
again.
teasing.
Yeah, but I mean,
Adam
I think
Copeland.
people, to be honest, and I said this to my man, I was like, I think people are sick of Adam Copeland. Does anyone else get that impression? Like, you know, how can we miss him?
He's
Don't
just one
go
of the
away.
guys. He's just one of the guys.
Yeah, Edge is just one of the boys now. You know, he's not in WWE. They treated him like a legend. He only showed up like for SummerSlam or WrestleMania or Survivor Series.
They booked him good in WWE.
Yeah,
but
they
even
did.
then, I was never really a big Edge fan. You know, I respect what he's done for the business, but I didn't really pop for Edge.
So after that, it was Samoa Joe versus Isaiah Cassidy, Sky Blue promo, ad break, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta live promo, Angle with Chris Statlander and Don Callis. That was 662,000 overall and 290 in the demo. So again, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand why Samoa Joe had to wrestle Isaiah Cassidy.
I don't get that. I mean, he was just the world champion. Now he's wrestling some random.
Yeah, it's like they pushed him down the card, and you don't do that to your main eventers or your ex-champs.
Like if you wanna start building Joe back up and get him a win, give him a respectable opponent.
Yeah, anybody.
Have him squash a respectable opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So
I haven't seen Isaiah Cassidy on TV in a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then he just
nobody likes Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, Isaiah. Go out to the ring.
I don't know.
And Brian Last.
I don't know who this is.
Brian Last hates that dude.
The best friend.
Yeah, it's awful. All right, and then the next segment, the Young Bucks, Jack Perry backstage promo, Chris Jericho versus Shibata, and picture-in-picture ads. It actually went up to 732,000.
Yeah, this is where they started getting people back, and I was shocked because usually the Young Bucks and everyone goes, "I'm not watching this."
Yeah, but I'm surprised it went up. I would assume it would have gone down again.
Jericho, I think people are starting to like this gimmick.
Really, even though he literally looks like.
He
looks like E.T. He looks like the extraterrestrial in E.T.
Jericho's awful.
He's leaning into all the criticism.
Yeah. So then,
he looks like a fat.
Yeah, he even wore the tights out there. I don't remember last time Jericho was in tights.
So the next segment is from 9:15 to 9:30. Jericho versus Shibata continue. Post-match with Big Bill, Willow Nightingale, Statlander, Stokely Hathaway backstage promo, and ad break, Claudio Castagnoli versus Brian Cage. That got 746,000. Went up again.
See, I think that's why I attribute the rise to Chris Jericho, because it went up even more. I don't think
I sound like Brian Last reading.
I don't
this,
think the Bucks.
I just want to say that.
You do. I love Brian Last though. Come on, I love Jim Cornette.
He's the one that reads these quarterly ratings.
He does, and then Jim goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah, when it goes down like that. Oh, so they lost.
We have to talk about the Dave Meltzer thing too, because even Jim Cornette's like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, so
the stuff's starting to get over. At least I think people are watching to see audience reactions. I really think that's what it is.
Oh no!
Bad
Cookie says it's Chris Jericho, Curt Hennig's protege.
I don't think they were proteges. Pretty sure. I know they fought each other in WCW, and Curt made him look good because Chris Jericho looked absolutely terrible.
So the next quarter hour, 9:30 to 9:45, Castagnoli versus Cage continue. Picture-in-picture ad. Rocky Romero backstage promo. Serena D versus Mariah May.
This has got to be where it went down.
643,000.
Yeah,
it went
this
down.
is where it went down.
Why
643,000.
What a pointless match, Claudio and Brian Cage.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Why? That is just no story, no nothing, just a match to have a match.
Hey, just boys go out there and have fun.
I mean, there's a very small percentage of wrestling fans that watch for that reason, to see a good match.
It's very small. I mean, it's for no reason. Oh yeah, Brian Cage. You're in catering. Go out to the ring and get beat by Castagnoli.
Go lose again. Yeah, at least
even though look at him. Look at that guy. He is absolutely huge, and he's an athlete. He can actually go, and it's like, why is he jobbing out to? Why does Tony Khan job him out?
I think he's probably got heat backstage.
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
He has because this company is run by a bunch of little guys that they bury all the big guys.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on. It is the Bucks and
because in the 90s,
Wardlow, Vince, Hobbs, Brian Cage, all legitimate badasses.
They're all buried.
Constantly losing to guys half their size.
And where is Wardlow? I haven't seen him on television in weeks. And he was like, I thought he'd be world champion by now. Where's Wardlow? He's
hopefully
gone.
Negotiating with Paul Levesque.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I'm sure Triple H
he would be over as hell in WWE.
Triple H has to be salivating over getting Wardlow and the possibility of getting him. I mean, it's like
hell yeah.
So let's get to 9:45, 10 o'clock, the next quarter hour. So D versus May continue through picture-in-picture ad. Post-match with Tony Storm. Copeland, Kyle O'Reilly backstage angle. Kenny Omega live promo got 668,000. So that went back up slightly.
Yeah, I mean a little tiny bit, but like not Brian, but Cornette was saying how is it that they could stay at 668, but yet they're what do they call that? The 18 to 49, their viewership.
Key demo.
Yeah, key demo. Mm-hmm.
Key demo goes up a little bit, but they stayed the same with the top ratings. I'm like,
yeah, that makes no sense. I just noticed that when you mentioned it. Yeah, the key demo goes up, but the rating, overall rating's exactly
because Jim Cornette was like, that doesn't make sense, Brian. He's like, I don't know, don't ask me. I'm just reading the numbers.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
All right, so the 10 to 10:15.
Maybe a bunch of old people turn the TV off, and a bunch of new people or young people replace them.
That could be the
only I can think of. People out of the demo left and were replaced by people in the demo. That's the only mathematical explanation for that.
I mean, that makes sense.
So the next quarter hour, this is Rampage at this point. AEW Rampage started.
See, this is the kind of stuff that makes me like. We get like. We tune in to watch Dynamite because sometimes it's entertaining, but they're true hardcore fans change the channel just like everybody else.
Yeah, I just wait for Cornette to talk about it.
Like Rampage, if
I don't want to be tortured.
Like I don't watch Rampage. Rampage is pointless.
I don't watch it either.
But,
I don't watch it either.
But their diehard fans don't watch it either. You know?
No, you're right.
Like support if you're gonna like go all out on Twitter for these people, at least watch the damam show. Like if you're gonna argue with me on Twitter because I don't agree with AEW and watch Rampage. Stop arguing with me on Twitter and watch Rampage.
It's ridiculous.
Watch the stupid
but
thing.
Nobody watches it.
And then you can critique.
Nobody watches it. It's like 300,000.
It's almost like they, no pun intended, booked themselves into a corner. They know they can't put anything on worthwhile because they know people aren't going to watch, so they just don't put anything on worthwhile.
Yes,
like they try to like put a big angle on like their Collision or Rampage, and it never draws, no matter what the angle is. No. Like they did what they do, Kenny Omega and MJF on Collision.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
And it
that was
didn't
a random match for no reason
because like they booked themselves into this corner where their fans know that nothing important is going to happen on the show on a week-to-week basis. So when they try to actually do put something important on there, people still don't watch because they're programmed not to watch.
Yep.
So they've done this to themselves.
Yeah,
It's like
they
numbing
made these
yourself to the
shows
pain.
meaningless.
yeah. So the 10-15, 10 to 10-15. This is Rampage now. Omega, Kachuchka, Okada live promo angle, Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Omega, Elite Perry backstage angle. Got 668 and 326 in the
Jack
demo.
Perry, I mean, he needs to just go away. Go
Oh,
away. After we miss you, don't go
Yeah,
away.
Yeah,
he
he's awful.
He is so bland.
Yeah, he didn't get his father's genes. I mean, his father was a pretty good actor.
Right.
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Friends, right?
I think he was in
90210.
90210.
Oh,
Yeah, he was.
90210. Yeah.
So
I didn't
this
watch
is
either.
this is where the ratings go brutally down. So at 10:15 to 10:30 quarter hour, Jay White versus Dante Martin through picture-in-picture ad. Post-match with Bullet Club Gold,
Perry,
Deanna
not here.
Purrazzo backstage promo. 459,000 and 203 in the demo. It just went rock bottom.
Why couldn't they book Jay White on Dynamite? They could have put the stupid Brian Cage Claudio match on Rampage.
I know.
Like,
I mean, Jay White has been
built Jay White up for 3 months having this belt on his shoulder, and now look at him.
He's on Rampage as an afterthought against Dante Martin for no reason.
This match could have been on freaking Dynamite. That made me mad. Like, I want to like Jay White, but they give me no reason to do so.
And what's funny is these
I
AEW
like their
marks,
entrance, the Gun Club. I like their entrance.
Yeah, these AEW marks were like, they tell me all the time, well, I mean, WWE wouldn't use him, right? And it's like, I'm guarantee you they would use him much better. Maybe he's not world champion, but he's Intercontinental or US or something. You know? I guarantee you they would use him so much better. But whatever.
He wouldn't be winning the. He wouldn't be
Isn't
winning
he
the
international
title on Twitter.
Jay White, he's the trios champion right now.
Who's the international?
Roderick Strong,
which is like the equivalent to the Intercontinental.
Yeah, but for some reason,
what is the TNT equivalent to then? The U.S. Championship?
I don't freaking know.
It was back in WCW, yeah, because Curt had it, and they're like, "Oh, that's a stepping stone to the heavyweight belt," and I'm like,
"Well, I wouldn't put the international championship on the same level as the Intercontinental title."
No, but they're gonna put it for some reason. What's his name? Ospreay's #1 contender for the international title. I'm like, why?
Do you think they did a little pivot on that because they started seeing some of the Swerve backlash, and they're like, "All right,
really, Ostrich is the
we need to hold up a little."
For no reason, he's the #1 contender for this.
Well, no,
horrible
he
belt.
He won that stupid gauntlet match.
No, I know why he's the #1 contender.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense because he should be going for the world title.
I think all the internet talk about Swerve being a transitional champ, maybe they put the brakes on.
They probably
winning at Wembley, which I agree with. Like, Ospreay just got here. Like, don't hotshot him into, like, let him chase a little bit. You know what I mean? He's going to be your top.
I know, but Tony's going to hotshot him. He's going to hotshot him.
I don't think he should win at Wembley in 3 months. He's got to go like at least another 8-9 months.
No, I agree.
So
but
I'm glad they pivoted from that.
They need to take away from Tony Khan.
I'm just saying that Tony's probably going to hotshot him. Gerald says because AEW doesn't have a real booker, they have a mark with money and talent booking the talent. Yeah, that's exactly right. You got it.
I would say the TV
it's why everybody from AEW gets over in WWE because they actually have a real booker over there that knows how to book these guys.
Yeah, and the
that's
TV
why
title,
get over there.
I would equivalent that to the WWE's European title back in the 90s. Remember when they had that European title?
Yeah.
That's what I kind of figured the TV title.
Yeah, it could be. But I'm like,
a lot of top guys held that European title. I think Shawn had it.
I'm not saying that. Because Booker T had the TV title.
A lot of top guys.
Booker T went on to be WWF champ.
Excuse me. The thing, Shawn Michaels didn't need that European title. I mean, getting into that, why did he beat British Bulldog? I don't never know. He's already the world champion, I think, at that point.
We better not put down Shawn Michaels too much, though. I think D is still there.
Yeah, but why did he beat British Bulldog? I never know, but you know he had he's like ego.
I have the European champion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
maybe was that around the time Bulldog was leaving WWF?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could have been. I don't remember the exact year of that, but I do remember Shawn Michaels beating him.
I think it was in '96.
D'Lo Brown had the European title.
Yeah, because British Bulldog would go back to WCW eventually.
Yeah. All right, so the 10:30 to 10:45 quarter hour ad break. Rush promo, Big Bill Chris Jericho backstage angle, Swerve Strickland backstage promo, Rocky Romero versus Kyle O'Reilly through picture-in-picture ads, 404,000, 180,000 at the demo. So to go back down again, brutally, they lost about 50,000.
Yeah, nobody liked that stuff.
I don't know why Rocky Romero is on television.
I didn't see any of this, so I don't know what backstage angle they're talking about or anything, but So the 10:45 to 11 quarter hour, Rocky Romero versus Kyle O'Reilly continued. Saraya Haley Cameron backstage promo. I don't know who that is. Ad break. Undisputed
He was in
Kingdom.
the QTV segments.
Oh, Undisputed Kingdom backstage promo. Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue through picture-in-picture ads. 399,177 in the demo.
That match pissed me off. Girls shouldn't be doing spots like that.
I didn't see the match, but I saw it on the internet. Did Sky Blue go through barbed wire
She
for
was
no reason?
stuck in that barbed wire for like 10 minutes after the show ended, I read.
And didn't they go through a table to like end it?
Yeah. It was a table with barbed wire on it and another.
And that's that was the finish.
That's dumb. No,
and then there
sorry,
was a
girls. It's been
and then
done.
there was a Hogan chair shot too.
A Hogan chair shot where it goes like that.
She put her
That's exactly
hands
why
up.
girls shouldn't be having that match.
Yeah.
All they do is just shit on
this
everything
isn't
the guys
ECW,
do.
guys. Come on.
Yeah, I said it before and I'll say it again. Women should not be having no disqualification matches because it makes the women look bad because they can't
psychologically it messes up the whole like Jim Curt, like what, you gotta shoot somebody to get a pinfall? Like if this girl can go through this barbed wire table, what do you gotta do to a guy to that? And
it
make
just
it
makes no sense.
believable.
Yeah, make it believable. But in WWE, women do have no disqualification matches, but they don't go through barbed wire tables. So, but I don't think they should be having no disqualification matches. Not even
I don't either.
I don't think they should be having barbed wire table matches either.
WWE doesn't
I didn't
do
like
that.
the men
All
doing
it does
it.
is
I
make
don't.
everything
I
look
definitely
phony.
wouldn't
It's
want
like,
a girl
I guess
doing
I
it.
can take that bump too.
Yeah,
if she can take it, I can take it.
I mean, but our bodies are built differently.
And you're not supposed to think that. You're supposed to watch wrestling and be like, I can never do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, even when they said this on the Dark Side of the Ring for Sherry, our Medusa said this. Our women's bodies don't have that much padding that a man does, and I agree with her.
Yeah.
We can't always be like a guy. I mean, it's physically impossible for a woman to be like a man, and they do take their bodies and do these extreme bumps, but I mean, what's it for at the end of the day? When you're like 40 years old, you're not going to be able to wrestle, and you're going to be meditating like Sherry was.
Yeah, it's not.
That's why Sherry got in trouble.
Yeah, that's why it's just not a good idea.
I'm not saying she was bad. I'm just saying she was. Yeah, she was the pioneer for women's wrestling. There's no doubt about that. Her and Medusa and Rockin' Robin were all pioneers of their time. But the thing is, I mean, your body can only handle so much, only because we don't have that kind of. I mean, women can have muscle mass. There's no doubt about that. I would even say like Joni Laurel. Even, I mean, she also was a big pioneer, especially for women in that age, because women of that age, like Sunny and Sable, they didn't wrestle.
No,
they didn't know how.
She won the Intercontinental title. I mean, her from Chris Jericho.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, at least Chyna had credibility because of her size and her physique, but
there's
women becoming
she's an exception to the rule, but like Sky Blue, I mean, she's
Sherry versus Chyna would have been money. I mean, I would have liked to see that match.
But Sherry was all beat up, and
by that point,
by that time. Women doing matches like this kind of screws up the psychology of the little universe and rules that you've kind of built.
Yeah, I don't like no disqualification matches for women, but I digress. So let's get to the overrun, because there's an overrun for some reason. Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue continued. Post-match with Chris Statlander, Stokely Hathaway, 408,000. So a slight increase because people are looking for that 11 o'clock movie or whatever it's on. Time. So, and they're like, what the hell is this? Why am I?
This is like the fourth week in a row they haven't been over 800,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they started at 794,000.
800,000 was not good.
It's like literally they're doing a slow climb to the bottom.
Yeah, they're It's not good.
And if this angle they're trying to do, this fake NWA, it's going to take time to see an increase in the ratings. So they need to keep, if they're going to, this is like, they need to go all in with this angle. This is not an angle you go half-ass on, because like,
I hope they don't give up on it, because
right. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, if you're not going to do,
this is like their last stand. This is the
last. Yeah, this is like WCW numbers at this point.
Yeah.
Like I said last week,
ideas.
It's like they're literally on the way out, just like WCW when it failed. It's in the dying days of like WCW.
If Tony wasn't a billionaire,
Tony Khan has unlimited money, so here we go. Are they going to? Is Papa Khan going to pull the plug or what?
As long as that. Look, I don't know how they must be really close for Papa Khan to put up with 5 years of this horrible.
I'm sorry, that's what I call him, Papa Khan.
Yeah, I mean, but it's easier than Shad Khan, but yeah, he must love his son really much to put up with 5 years of miserable failure from his son in this company.
They must be making a lot of money with the football team and the soccer team.
I actually thought Tony Khan owned both, that he owned AEW and the Jaguars, but no, his dad owns the Jaguars. Dad owns it. And he owns AEW, so I'm sorry, I got a little mixed up there.
Yeah, his dad.
Tony still gets to play football GM though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He was there with the neck brace, and let me get the coffee.
You would have thought he was the owner of the team for all the publicity he did.
I know.
No, he's
That's
not.
why I was like, wait,
his dad owns it. Yeah. But I'm sorry if you're a Jaguars fan, because apparently Tony Khan has a lot of say in football decisions. So.
Yeah, that's why they haven't gone to a Super Bowl. Huh?
I'm sorry if you're a Jaguars fan in the chat, but that's why they haven't gone to a Super Bowl. Tony Khan has a lot of say over the roster.
I was gonna say, if my ex is in the chat, he's a Philly fan, Eagle.
I feel like my Cowboys give them a run for their money for
your Cowboys. Steelers, baby, Steelers.
Jerry Jones.
We got six. How much you got? Huh?
Five rings and counting.
The Giants have 4. I'm a Giants fan. They have 4. 2 in the 80s and 2 recently.
2 with old Eli.
Baby.
Eli's the only one who beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So I'll say that.
Blows my mind.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah. Eli, that must have been tough being a fan of Eli, because he had to drive you nuts at times. But he would always he would come through. But you couldn't hate him because he would come through in these moments for you. It's like,
he would come through in the truck.
But there was.
Yeah, but Ben was in his class, and Ben got his Super Bowls first. So
yeah,
I know it's rough, isn't it? Yo, Mama's so fat. It hasn't been a fun off season.
To you Cowboy fans.
Yeah, the
Giants we are going into a lame duck season. Y'all might actually beat us this year, Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say,
as long as Daniel Jones is not
like
the quarterback.
I don't even watch NFL anymore, because I was like, I've been able to predict the last 3 years of who won the Super Bowl just from the storylines alone.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of locked into it, but I'm a lot more cynical towards someone.
Brady has 7, but
now that everybody's gambling on it, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, the Patriots don't have 7. Brady does.
It's not points.
Brady doesn't. That's because he cheated.
Brady has 7. Eli Manning beat him twice. I mean, neither time I didn't believe they would win.
Yeah,
the first time in 2008, the Patriots were like 18-0. I'm like, there's no way. It's nice to get here, but there's no way. And I'm sitting there, it's like, wait, they're actually going to win? They're up 17-14, like 30 seconds left. And they actually won. It's like, whoa. It's like, they must have given it's Michael Strahan's last year and we won. It's like, that's probably why we won.
I hope the Cowboys have a chip on their shoulder, because the owner's basically telling them we're tanking. So it's like, hey, if y'all they better win despite Jerry Jones this year, because they're not.
Jerry
Who
needs
said
to
that,
retire.
Gerard? I forgot who said that now. Steve.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Steve.
Sounds
Steve
like
Young?
a baseball coach quote. Like a baseball manager.
Yes, it probably was a baseball person. I forget who though.
Well,
I've heard that before.
It wasn't Yogi Berra, was it? I feel like it's an old.
Come on, Gerard, help me here. Steve something. Steve Young. What's his name? Steve Young.
Steve Schmidt in baseball. He's a baseball guy.
Steve Young. No, he was the 49ers. Something or other. I think he was the quarterback for the 49ers. Steve Young.
Yeah, Steve Young was the quarterback for the 49ers.
Okay, yeah, he said that on TV. He's like, well, if you ain't cheating, you ain't.
Well, that quote's been tied to Eddie Guerrero, so that's the first. That quote has been tied to Eddie Guerrero, so apparently.
I do know that Bobby Heenan said in an interview that if you were jealous of Hogan, then you basically were just jealous because you weren't the top guy.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I
Sure, there was
see
a little
that,
bit of
but
that
I
to it.
mean, Hogan did also screw a lot of guys. He
Yeah, he did.
actually
man. It's
stooged
still-
Jesse and
He
But
ruined
look at The
careers and
Undertaker,
ruined careers,
the worst.
pulled guys back.
he tried to ruin the
Lying
Undertaker's
about
career.
an injury to bury a guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
that's like old school worker type thing. It's like, oh
Yeah.
well,
Here's
you
the
hurt
thing,
me,
though,
brother,
like,
but don't
if
worry. I
Jesse
mean,
ever got if Hogan would have
Life.
buried the Undertaker back in '92, all the moments we would have missed out on. Because of
yeah,
freaking
somehow.
saw a guy at his heels.
Well, Vince
That's
somehow.
like
You know,
popcorn too.
Well, and
yeah,
remember, if
was
he hadn't have axed the Curt Hennig thing in 1990, I mean, we could have champion Curt Hennig, heavyweight champion Curt Hennig, or Rick Rude, or they could like kind of go back and forth,
oh, this is funny. Somebody responded to me on this.
Yeah, he did get Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He did get him a job in WCW.
Oh yeah, that guy. I've been arguing with him today.
Yeah, this guy, it's like air gold.
That's
an
such
hour
a
40
bad
minutes.
faith take, man. Like
That's
he
what I
knows
said.
he's
It's bad
doing.
faith.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so isn't he? Isn't he one that complains WWE doesn't have enough wrestling? And then this guy said that's Tony Khan's burner account. I would not be surprised
What's
that his burner account.
Yeah, because did he call the WWE the Harvey Weinstein of
Yes, that's
professional
what he did
wrestling?
on the NFL
Yeah,
Network, which is horrible.
Yeah, that was so stupid. He
Yeah.
basically lost all the goodwill he got.
I would not be surprised as Tony Khan's burner. I mean, he has to. I mean, he's obsessed.
You know
with
he
Twitter,
has one
so
because he hasn't been tweeting since the injury. So he's using
he
another
has to
account.
be. He has to have a burner account.
He can't stay away from Twitter for a week.
What is
But
Jim?
he hasn't tweeted. He hasn't tweeted on his main account.
No, I'm
What does
surprised.
Jim Moore call him?
His fingers are
sock
injured.
account. It's
Yeah.
a sock account.
Yeah, burner
Yeah,
sock
Tony
account.
Khan definitely has to burn it.
He has to. There's no way that he can just not put up with it. He has to say something to defend himself or defend AEW or attack WWE. So
Really?
that being his burner account would not be surprised at all because that
I
account
wouldn't.
it's bad faith
Either him
attacks on
or
WWE.
real
Would
one.
always cheat and never get caught. That's what Bobby Heenan said. Actually, Jesse said that first. Jesse said, "Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat." And then Bobby goes one time. He goes, "And never get caught."
Well, if
But
you don't
Jesse
get
would
caught,
say that too.
Bobby was so good with the one-liners, man. Just off the
Oh
top.
my
of his
yeah.
God, yes.
If he,
Oh.
but it's not cheating if you get caught either. So it's like if you don't get caught, I mean, so it's like.
Like in football, like Jesse would say, like in football, you can hold in football as long as you don't get caught. You get
Yeah.
away with it.
Yeah, you can hold.
cheating if you get caught.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean AEW's ratings are just
In the toilet.
atrocious right now. I saw something here in the chat, but I missed it. Hold on. This was an interesting point. Gerald, I mean, if WBD loses the NBA, AEW might end up losing their TV contract. The report
Well,
came
they've
out
already
the other day.
lost one. Jim Cornette was talking
Well,
about this. They lost.
Why would that hurt AEW?
Well, because if
I
they
feel like
keep
that would help
losing
it.
TV contracts, then they won't
Well-
be. They just lost the YouTube one. I think it was only aired on like YouTube.
No, they lost
that
the
one.
They lost the Zone International. And they lost.
Yeah.
The,
they lost
American.
some Spanish speaking thing because they
Because
were
weren't getting enough buys.
yeah, there's something called VIX, which is a Spanish speaking app where all the telenovelas are at and stuff. They were on there internationally. But they lost that contract because after 9 months, it was like a 3-year contract, but they canceled after 9 months because of horrible ratings. So I'm not surprised. So they lost that.
I was going to say they just lost this one where they were broadcast stuff over YouTube.
But why?
And then Brian Last was like, well, or Jim Cornette was like, well, I mean, no one really sees it anyway. I mean, are they that, oh, shucks.
But Gerald, I mean, I would assume this would help AEW losing the NBA.
It would mean WBD has a lot more.
Because they don't want to lose original content like AEW. So they lost the NBA then.
Yeah, if they lost their TV contracts, like if they lost TNT and TBS,
but
you say la vie, man.
Stock price is like $7 right now. Is that hard to that has to be assuming that they've lost the NBA already, because I can't imagine it going down anymore.
NBC or Comcast has offered the NBA like $2.5 billion a year to
So that
air the NBA.
that must already be a done deal then for the WBD stock price to go down like that.
Yeah, but Wall Street's assuming that it's a done deal.
Yeah.
because that's why the stock price has tanked.
I don't
like
know
that.
what that does to that company losing the NBA. I don't know if that means they have to just fold it, but
I'm assuming some sort of bankruptcy. Chapter
it's just
7.
be a Family Guy channel or like a.
They have to go to Chapter 7 because they're not gonna have the money to sustain that massive company that they have
What are
merged
the odds
into.
Tony Khan buys Warner Brothers Discovery?
Or his dad? Because
Yeah.
it has to
What
be
are
his
the
dad.
odds?
You know?
I
I
don't
hope
think you can
not.
rule that out.
I wouldn't
but I
rule it
hope
out
not.
either.
It keeps getting lower and lower.
Yeah,
Well, they still got
NBA is
hockey, but it
TNT's
doesn't
bread
really
and
like.
butter. Yeah, every playoff year, I always go to TNT. I mean, the Knicks and my Knicks have advanced to the second round already.
Yeah,
So
this is exciting for New York basketball fans. Y'all haven't been
yeah.
this good in a while.
Oh no, we've not been this good in 10 years. But before that, we had not been this good since like the 90s. I mean, the Knicks have been horribly run.
John Starks, and yeah, man.
Yes, I love those teams. I mean, the 90 teams.
Basketball,
This year's
basketball's
team
good,
reminds me.
relevant.
This year's team remind me of the 90s teams. I mean, that's why I'm
Yeah,
excited for them.
they play tough.
Yes, and that's why that's why they beat the Sixers and Embiid pretty easily. So
Yeah,
not easily. They took 6 games, but
y'all took it to them.
yeah. I think the NBA and TNT is
I'm happy
done,
for
and they will have to at least downsize the channel. I mean,
they have to. That's their
the NBA is their bread and butter for Turner or Warner Brothers Discovery. I keep calling it Turner because I've called it Turner for so long.
Another syndication channel without the NBA.
Yeah, no more inside the NBA. Kenny, Shaq, and Chuck are awesome together. I hope
Charles Barkley completely. Did you see Charles Barkley destroyed Galveston, Texas?
Yeah. I hope they go to NBC if they end up going to NBC.
He was right. I live 30
But
minutes.
yeah, I digress. We're talking about basketball for some reason. But yeah, I mean, I would assume that AEW would end up at WBD if they lose the NBA. They have to have some sort of content. I mean, what are they going to do? Air Family Guy all day? Like, Greg said, I mean, they have to have something, or movies. They have to have some sort of.
I don't know how all this stuff plays out, but I would imagine if TNT doesn't get the NBA, that would make AEW more desirable to them.
Yeah, it has to be.
Overall, I don't know, but I think that would help AEW if that were the case.
Because right now, all they would have is the NHL playoffs. Because right now, they're also airing the NHL playoffs. They air NHL games. Charles Barkley has a free agent clause if TNT loses the NBA. I wouldn't.
Good.
Yeah, so he probably would bounce from Turner if the NBA lost.
He's gonna get paid, whatever.
Yeah, he'll probably go to NBC. I wouldn't be surprised.
NBA on NBC, man, with the Knicks on, bro.
Oh, that's 90s. I love that. I love that
flashback stuff right here.
Yeah,
man.
I'm looking forward to that. If they go to NBC, which I suspect they will at this point, because
I hope they bring the NBA on NBC song back. I love.
Yeah, I love that song. It was such. It felt like 90s. It's like, oh, that's so nostalgic.
I am. I'm a for 90s nostalgia.
They made their mark on Braves. I don't think they air Braves anymore. No, I mean Turner sold the Braves years ago.
Because he owned the channel and the team.
And we're not talking about wrestling anymore. But I mean, we just went off.
This relates.
Kind of, but Steph has been quiet for a while, so
I don't watch the NBA. I'm sorry.
Me and Angel, we're in our zone right now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, oh.
I was actually reading. Yeah, I was reading the comments.
Gay people ain't a minority group. Yeah, gay people ain't a minority group, so it's easy for words to slip like that.
What slipped?
I think she was talking about your, when you were mentioning the ESPN show that you were watching. Better than NBC.
Well, I mean, they are a minority group.
Yeah, I mean that's because not a majority of the country is gay, so it's like they are like a minority group technically. But yeah, I mean, what time is it? Well, I mean, ESPN sucks. I mean, ESPN has sucked for 20 years.
Yeah. It hasn't been good since like when Pardon the Interruption and Around the Horn, and
that's when it first started. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I still think Vince could buy AEW for cheap. I would not be surprised.
Why would he want it?
Why would he want to get back into
Again,
wrestling?
he's not, 80 years old. Why would Vince
what
want
can an
it?
80-year-old do? That's like a pretty, high
Well,
stress
but
job. He's
Vince,
not going to have the machine behind him. Like he's going to
but
be on his own.
Vince would be kind of obsessed with trying to get revenge on WWE for
They were
forcing
on
him out.
ESPN.
I don't think he has that. I don't think he's like. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he's always been like that. That's why I assume that he's still like
too
that.
old to be this ruthless anymore. I don't know.
Vince's
At a certain
ego,
point, you
but
gotta
I mean,
just chill out.
yeah,
Maybe,
I think even Vince is like,
go enjoy your life, man.
And they had that update, like I said last week. They had that update. Again, they can figure that out, about when her parents died and stuff. They can look that up. It's not something that, well, I guess we'll never know. No, they can actually look that stuff up and see when they passed and see who exactly is lying and telling the truth.
Bringing up that lawsuit, there is an update. Apparently, John Laurinaitis has joined. He's joined Vince McMahon on his.
Vince, let's do arbitration.
Yeah, he's joined Vince on requesting arbitration. That's his before he threw Vince under the bus. Like, he was a victim too. I was a victim of Vince.
Oh, he made me do it. He held me down.
And now he's like, oh yeah, I agree with Vince. Let's go to arbitration. I'm like, he's right back to
lawyer. I'm guessing.
And he's married to the Bella Twins' mother, for heaven's sake.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's Bryan Danielson's
mother-in-law or father-in-law.
Father-in-law, yes. I mean, I forgot what it was called. That's why I stopped.
Stepfather.
Rick, I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Or Vince joins Trump's cabinet to avoid charges.
Well, I mean, they tried to get Linda in there. They tried to get Linda McMahon in his cabinet.
Linda was in his cabinet.
For Senate.
That would be wild.
Linda was in his cabinet.
She
She was the Small Business Administration head.
Yeah, I mean, Linda was there. Why not? Right?
Yeah, Linda ran for Congress in Connecticut.
Or Senate twice.
She spent supposedly.
That's crazy. She couldn't win.
She spent $100 million.
In a state like that, you
She spent $100 million on 2 campaigns and lost.
Yeah. Yeah,
she ran in the mistake she made, and she ran in Connecticut as a Republican. Connecticut is a blue state, so she had no chance. She probably could have moved to Florida.
Yeah, but she has Republican ideals. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's why she probably should have run.
But I mean,
who are the senators? It's Chris Coons and who else?
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris Coons and who was the other senator from Connecticut?
They're both Democrats.
I know they're both Democrats. Senators from.
It's not.
Yeah, I know Coons because he's one of Biden's.
Snake.
Buddies.
Oh, Chris Murphy. That's the other senator.
Snake. She's in the House, I think. Warren.
Wait,
Warren's
it says
House,
Richard
right?
Blumenthal here. No, Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy are the senators.
Yeah, Blumenthal, because that's Max's father.
Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy are the senators, not Coons.
And everyone's like, well, look,
Delaware then?
Yeah, Coons is from Delaware because Biden's from Delaware.
Yeah.
So Biden, Biden and Coons are like this because they're from the same state.
That's right.
But Blumenthal is like a Hillary person.
Yes.
And everyone wants to say, oh, well, Max Blumenthal can't be real because look at his dad. Look, he has nothing to do with his father. Max Blumenthal is a great journalist.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with his father. Do not equate the two.
No.
Because Max does not agree with his dad.
No, he doesn't. So, yeah, I mean.
Blumenthal sounds like a Zionist.
He is.
I assume he is. I assume he is. He's a Democrat.
Off now. Stop
I'm a quarter Jewish. I can make jokes about Jews.
I would laugh if Vince ends up in Trump's cabinet.
I recognize by people's names, and that was a very Jewy name, Blumenthal.
Yeah, or
but they always say Max is a self-hating Jew.
I
just feel like my mom was half Jewish, so I guess
really?
So
technically I'm a quarter Jewish, but I don't.
I guarantee you, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump pardons Vince.
I just use it as an excuse when I make fun of
pardons him, but no criminal charges have been filed against Vince.
But that is true.
Trafficking, if the sex trafficking they can prove, they have to file charges on that. That's not a civil dispute.
So he is under federal investigation right now for the sex trafficking. So if there's ever charges, he probably would pardon him because they're really good friends. Yeah. They still talk to this day. So it's like
sex trafficking is one of those words that is now kind of an umbrella term.
Basically, what that means.
I don't think she
Like
was.
there's it literally is like having like 10 Russian women in a storage unit, and like Vince like, hey, you want to fuck my friend? Like how? I mean, I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
But like that seems like a pretty wide net. Like when I heard sex trafficking, I'm like, what the hell is Vince doing? And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, but I've read some of those messages, and I think
guess
she was a
technically
willing
that is sex
participant.
trafficking. When I think
think
sex
she was
trafficking,
into it.
the Russians been.
She's into it until Vince stiffed her on the
Vince
NBA
like
money.
broke up with her, and she was because the whole writing him a love letter stuff. I didn't understand that. I was like,
24
who
times.
forces someone to write you a love letter?
Did you hear Brian and Jim make fun of that? Because they were like, she was pulling stuff like movie quotes and stuff.
She was pulling stuff from movies from the 1940s.
This chick don't know how to be romantic, even if it came up a bitter in
24
the
drafts of the letter.
Yeah, Vince. She was pulling movie quotes from the 50s when Vince would have been a teenager.
It's a little nuts.
But I mean, why would Vince? No, I'm sorry. I've written love letters in my day, and I never had someone say, "Write me a love letter," or else. You know.
Yeah, that is strange.
No. I mean, I could see Vince doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't.
Vince McMahon
as some kind
a love letter.
As some kind of defense.
Around. Yeah, no, I can see.
I would be like Vince. Heck no, I'm not going to do that because I don't feel that way.
Well,
I think it was. This is what I think happened.
Money talks, Steph. Money talks.
Yeah,
Money writes letters.
But you have to understand the new stuff that came out. She was living with her lawyer fiance. Okay, so even if they had broken up, she was still living with him.
That lawyer was probably
She was not down on her luck. She was not down on her luck. She had money. She probably was, getting money from him.
That's why it made no sense.
Like and I'm gonna be sorry.
No, I feel like she probably didn't have a father in her life. I would guess
that made no sense because she was in a high rise.
She was in a high rise apartment
with Vince. She's living in the same building as Vince.
Right.
Like, so how the hell she's poor
I don't
all of a sudden?
But I feel like her personality was kind of set up to fail in this situation. Like, sure.
And what about that house that she was supposed to lose? No, she was living with her fiance, who was a lawyer. And I hate to break this to everybody, but the lawyer,
building, weren't they?
They were living in the same building.
I don't know. All I know is that she was living with the lawyer fiance, and she broke up before that. It doesn't matter. She was still living with him. They probably were still boinking. Hello, but that's none of my concern. My concern is that she
probably like, go for everything he's got.
Yeah, that was, and that she was thinking the same thing with Vince. So she left the lawyer because the lawyers don't get
manipulated by men, and like she just got taken. People took advantage of her and used her to make money. And
I think she used them. I think it's the other way around.
By both those guys.
Well, she was,
but I also think she was more than willing to do it though until it got not willing. But I just feel like
she was apparently
woman was just overpowered by these powerful men and just kind of went
I think she was the aggressor. Because Gerard, I forgot that. Thank you. But I just want to make this real quick. Lawyers are not poor people, okay? They are in the top 1%. So there's no way this chick couldn't be boinking her lawyer fiance and still be poor. Okay, no. And I think she was a lawyer herself. I think that's what they said. She was going to law school or something, and she was a lawyer herself.
She was also a aspiring actress. She appeared in one or two shows or something.
And thank you, Gerard, for she also visited Vince while her man was sleeping. It's like a Sonny thing, like Sonny was boinking kids boinking kids. She was boinking guys. Sorry. She was boinking guys while Chris Candido was in the shower. So that's what I think would happen. She tried to take. She saw Vince McMahon was a billionaire. She saw dollar signs when she saw Vince McMahon. Oh, Vince McMahon lives in my building. Dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. She knew she had something going with Vince because Vince was a billionaire. The lawyer might have not been a billionaire, but he was not poor. Okay.
Woman playing them. Do you think this woman was playing them?
Yes. I think she was playing that because they want in the lawsuit. It's like the NDA thing says like there's something invalid with it, so they're gonna try to get her to give the money back.
Isn't she being
that he gave her? Yeah, he gave her $1 million and stopped paying her because she had already started talking to people and and the NDA was already, disqualified, so to speak. So he stopped paying her. She needs to give that $1 million back, but she's not going to because she's now a millionaire. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's not.
She
So that's
saw
why
this
they want
man and knew who he was. Probably did some research on him and saw dollar signs in front of her face.
Now, and that's why she filed the lawsuit.
She was a scorned woman because he broke up with her and she was scorned. So.
And Vince didn't pay her the $3 million.
Pay her the $3 million. He was supposed to pay her $3 million.
She got $1 million from him, but
she got $1 million, and then when she didn't get the full $3 million, that's when she
filed the lawsuit was filed.
If I still had money, I don't know if I'd want all this stuff dug up. That's why I feel like she might have been running out of money, because I don't know why you'd want to litigate your personal life.
Well, that's her problem, but it pays to be a hoe in America. That's all I got to say.
It does.
I read some of the messages. Trust me, she was a willing participant.
Yeah, I suspect. I mean, I read the text too, and I'm like,
some of them I was just like, nope, I'm not going there. That's sick.
Every
I don't like Vince McMahon. I hate Vince McMahon. He's a dirty old man.
Also stipulated to be willing.
Yeah, she's like, I keep going back to the part where he allegedly crapped all over her head, and then
God, yeah.
And that happens sometimes, especially when you're flexing those muscles. Stuff will come out.
Jeff Farmer says he didn't get the other $2 million because the NDA was apparently broken because the board.
That guy that had that really.
The board of directors found out.
So does that mean Vince was using company money to pay off this NDA?
Yeah, he did. He did because he had to pay back the WWE money. And then they had to file an amended tax form or something with the SEC.
Now knock it off.
I just read on Twitter that Curt Hennig is endorsing.
Curt Hennig has passed, honey. He's passed. Unless you're talking to his ghost, be quiet. If you talk to his ghost, you let me know because I want to talk to his ghost. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Breaking news: Tony Khan, the founder of AEW, had a heart attack and fell to the ground. He died at 42 after being rescued.
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
we've seen that everywhere.
I think we got some trolls in the chat, which I'm fine with, but that's fun. That's
that's out of the question in the
future. My Twitter would be blowing up if that actually happened. So I don't see any of that here, but
shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay.
But yeah, we have a few more minutes. So is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up? I mean,
I need to delete that tweet. I'm sorry, Angel. I meant it for tomorrow night at 9:00. Oops. My days aren't running together anymore. My tweet for the episode 32. It actually drops on Rumble tomorrow.
Oh,
sorry.
It's fine. I mean, tomorrow we're doing
tomorrow. So here's what we got going on tomorrow. I got Kit Cabello on my show. I got Angel. I got Greg. If you are gonna come,
we're talking about Sandman.
The Sandman documentary. Yeah.
Yes. We're gonna review the Sandman Dark Side of the Ring.
I gotta finish watching it.
Watch it because of Kit. I wish Kit was in the thing, but if D is still here, D, let us know if you're going to be there tomorrow. It's at 3 p.m. It's going to be recorded, though. I do want to do a live show for my thing, but that'll be later.
Is that 3 Eastern?
It's 3 p.m. Eastern. So like I said, D, if you're still in the chat, can you just let us know if you'll be there? Just give us a thumbs up or something. But yeah, Kit Cabello, I got Greg, I got Angel. We're gonna be reviewing the Sandman because Kit wore a kilt for us all week. So I'll be nice and let him talk about
Angel, if you had to finish your move, what would it be? I don't know.
Puerto Rican destroyer.
Yeah, I mean, I would do something. I mean, I've always liked the Macho Man's elbow, so I would call it something. But
you and Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur loves Macho Man.
I liked his elbow finish, so it's like
Macho was okay.
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing
like a perfect flex, something like it.
Tomorrow we're doing that, and
tomorrow 3 p.m. I will probably drop it Monday morning or afternoon, depends on if I'm busy at my other job. So my real job during computers part. So yeah, I probably drop it as soon as I can. But 3 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, we're gonna review the Sandman's ECW. Like I said, Kit was so good to us. He wore the kilt because we got to fit for him. So we're gonna give some love and back to Kit and let him talk about ECW for a couple hours.
Yes, hit the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate
Jimmy Dore,
that.
baby. Mhm.
Jimmy Dore 2024.
That's right, baby. I wish he would run, but he won't.
He
And
won't,
rightfully so, he shouldn't, because the establishment will.
Yeah, he wouldn't last.
Yeah,
But
no
yeah,
way.
that's episode 12. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give us a like, as Bad Hookie says, and you haven't. Snow Himble will be live at 11:30. He'll be playing some video games late tonight, so check that out if you haven't.
Jesse Jet will be on the BAP. Thank you, Mr. Mine, for reminding me. Jesse Jet tonight or tomorrow night.
Yep.
Tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know about that. I mean, I'm sure if I checked my DMs, I would, but I didn't even know about
something
that.
Politics, I think, or something or
Yeah.
other. Somebody's got a stomach that's growling at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hear that too.
My
I'm like,
microphone up against.
Somebody's growling.
It wasn't me. I'm like, I'm looking at her.
That's hilarious because I had my phone right on my.
Sorry, I'm just like.
Stomach.
Yeah, I kept hearing it, but I didn't want to say anything.
That's hilarious. All right, good to know.
All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. Give us a like,
that was good.
Subscribe, share it if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a nice weekend.
And
remember, everybody, nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody. Check us out tomorrow, Monday, and I will have another episode drop. Episode 32 is coming out tomorrow night, 9 p.m.